podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Hi, this is Leo Laporte, and this is my Tech Guy podcast. The show originally aired on the Premier Networks on Saturday, February 5th, 2022. This is episode 1865. Enjoy. The Tech Guy podcast is brought to you by Linode. Develop, deploy, and scale your modern applications faster and easier. Get $100 in credit when you visit linode.com/techguy. And by Melissa. The U.S. Postal Service processes more than 98,000 address changes every day. Make sure your customer contact data is up to date. Try Melissa's APIs in the developer portal. It's easy to log on, sign up, and start playing in the API sandbox 24/7. Get started today with 1,000 records cleaned free at melissa.com/twit. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the Tech Guy. Time to talk computers, the internet, home theater, digital photography. We got to talk smartphones, of course, smartwatches, you know, all that jazz. The gimcracks, gizmos, G-jaws, humdingers, and woohoos that change our lives all around us. 8888 Ask Leo. I made up a few words there. I don't know if we cover those. 888-827-5536. That's toll free from anywhere in the U.S. or Canada. Outside that area, you could still call, but you should probably use Skype or something so it doesn't cost you anything. 8888 Ask Leo. What's on the agenda, on the docket? What's going on in the world around us? Well, I guess the big story of the week, I don't know really how important it is Facebook. I'm sorry, Meta. Did I say Facebook? Yes, I did. The company formerly known as Facebook, losing a ton of money on the stock market, $240 billion, but it's on the stock market. So they didn't really lose that money. So don't be sad for Mark Zuckerberg and the Facebook team. They didn't actually lose any real money. It is the biggest loss of value ever in U.S. corporate history. You know, in terms of stock valuation. Why did the stock market turn its back on Facebook? And perhaps more important, if you are a stock investor, because I am not. Well, I am, but I don't buy individual tech stocks. I buy index funds, so I don't have any. I try not to have a dog in this hunt. You know what I'm saying? I have a dog in this hunt. Although I'm sure my S&P fund probably has some Facebook. Oh, no, it doesn't. It's NASDAQ, isn't it? So I don't have any Facebook. But, the stock market's been kind of going up and down, tanking mostly over the last few weeks. Tech stocks haven't done all that well, except for Apple. Oh, Apple did all right. Apple had the biggest quarter in history. Facebook, though, announced that they actually lost a few users, like a handful of users. And that caused, they announced that on Wednesday, $10 billion. Oh, also, and I have some doubts about all this. They say that Apple cost them $10 billion and lost ad revenue because of that button that you push now when you get an iPhone. You get a new app on iPhone, like the Facebook app or WhatsApp or Instagram, and it says, hey, Apple does, hey, it says, do you want this app to track you everywhere you go all the time, huh? And, of course, everybody says, well, no. And Facebook says that cost them $10 billion in ad sales, which I don't believe for a half second. But anyway, we'll get to that. After they announced their, it wasn't, they didn't even lose money or anything. Totally. I mean, their stock on Thursday, the next morning, lost 26%, which is $240 billion. That's a lot of money. The biggest wipeout in U.S. corporate history. But again, it doesn't come out of Facebook's pocket. It comes out of investors selling their shares at such a clip that the market price for the shares goes down because nobody wants to buy them, which means, I guess, if you thought it would come back up, which it might, you might want to buy them right now. That's what they call that, buying on the dips. I'm not, by the way, boy, don't listen to me. I am not, I have known nothing about this stuff. I think it's all made up. I honestly do. Is Facebook less valuable on Thursday than it was on Wednesday? Like in reality? No. Just in the stock market. What went wrong? Well, the analysts, so this is the problem, kind of the problem I have with this. The analysts predicted that Facebook's earnings or profits would be $3.85 a share. They predicted that. They said, we think that. They wrote that down. They sent it out in notes. And then when Facebook announced it was only $3.67 a share, by the way, that's profit. Not that they didn't lose money. That's profit per share. Oh my gosh, it was almost 20 cents less per share. They didn't live up to the analysts' expectations, so the stock falls. Huh? Plus, they said next quarter, the market, the analysts, the people who write these notes up, who are some wonks sitting in an office somewhere. I mean, I don't know. They go, I think it's going to. They said, we think Facebook's going to, profit will be $30 billion next quarter. Facebook said, it's only going to be like $29 billion. That's, okay, just to make that clear, that's profit. That's $29 billion in 3 months. That sounds all right to me. I mean, it doesn't sound bad, okay? Well, we thought it was going to be 30.15, so sell that stock. Daily active users expected to be, get this, 1.95 billion people. Now, this is like half the Earth's population. I mean, it's not a small number. Instead, it was 1.93 billion. Oh dear. Trouble in River City. The stock market's nuts, okay? Although it's a great story, and you're going to see it all over the place because it's link bait. It sells magazines, gets clicks on websites, especially when they say Mark Zuckerberg's personal wealth dropped $31 billion. Now, okay, fine. He's still on the number 10 on the Bloomberg Billionaires Index. He's not going to be begging for lunch money tomorrow. Okay, just want to I wouldn't worry. Now, the issue of the 10 billion is interesting. The actual loss of $10 billion is more the money spent to build this new metaverse thing, okay? That's why they renamed themselves Metaverse. Facebook's looking to the future, and they're looking and they see with their somewhat misty vision that the future is going to involve all of us wearing visors bumping into walls. And so they want to be there. So they renamed the company Meta. They hired 10,000 new engineers to build the metaverse. Very speculative. That's what cost them $10 billion. But Facebook thought, this would be a great time to zing Apple a little bit for that privacy switch I was talking about earlier. So let's blame them. It's all Apple's fault. Apple cost us billions. No. Maybe those 10,000 engineers. Maybe. Yeah. Maybe. Anyway, the thing I want to tell you, the thing that's important from this, none of this is important unless, and of course, you have Facebook stock. And even then, I don't know. It's been going. It went down Thursday, went down Friday. Maybe it'll go down some more Monday. What's your prediction for a month from now? You think it'll be still way down, or is it going to come back up? That's I don't care. It's finance markets. Who cares? It's speculators. It's people trying to make money off other people's backs. It's crazy. So it's tulip bulbs. But the thing that's interesting is Facebook trying to blame Apple for its loss, where it has nothing to do with Apple. Because the real truth of it is, and there's lots of evidence, lots of studies to support this, is that made no difference to Facebook at all. They have plenty of ways of tracking you. If you use Facebook, if you have the Facebook app on your phone, it doesn't matter if you click the button that says, don't let them track me. They do anyway. They have lots of other ways to do it. It's theater. privacy theater. And you know what? Apple loves this, by the way. Apple loves this. Facebook lost $10 billion because we protected your privacy. Go buy an iPhone. Meanwhile, Apple had a kind of good quarter. Oh, my God. Look, let me point this out. Facebook made almost $10 billion a month last quarter. That's a lot of money. Profit. Apple, Facebook says Apple is going to cost us $10 billion. It's not. That's nonsense. Apple's profit, and what did I say Facebook's was? Like almost 30 million. Apple's profit, 34.6 billion. What's a few billion between friends? I say it's my, if you're making more than $1 billion a week, you're doing fine. You're doing fine. They actually almost made, $1 billion a week. That seems like enough money for anybody. And by the way, that's profit. That's money that you can say, oh, good, I made that much money. I'm going to put it in the bank. That's a lot of profit. Apple had its biggest quarter ever. $34.6 billion. iPhone sales, incredible, of course. $71.6 billion in sales. Remember, not all profit, some of it. Actually, they're almost half profit, by the way. I just want to point out they're doing very well. Some of that profit is a big check every quarter that Google writes to Apple, something like $1 billion a month, so that Apple will keep using Google as a search engine on the iPhone. That goes into the services category, by the way. So the good news for Apple is the chip shortage hasn't hurt them too much. We will, by the way, we've been talking about this, see from Apple, it looks like March 8th now is the analysts, they're at it again. The analysts say March 8th will be the day for an Apple event in which they will announce, and this is a little disappointing to me. I was hoping for maybe new Macs, but no, they'll announce a new iPad Air and a new iPhone SE. So if you're in the market and you can wait, it's a month off, roughly, because it's a guess. Apple doesn't say. 88, now you're up to date. 8888 Ask Leo, the phone number. Now you know everything that happened. Well, no, there's a lot more, but we'll save that for later. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Your calls coming up next. Ooh. I'm making a call to you. She's going to say a number in a moment, and apparently I'm supposed to interrupt. She did? Okay, stop. Ooh. Kim Schaffer. I didn't hear. 8609. 86709. Call 800-88-888. Ask Leo. No, 800. It's 888.
It might have been incorrect. It's okay. Call them.
8888 Ask Leo. No, yeah, because our phones are jam-packed.
Call somebody else.
Hello, Kim Schaffer, phone angel.
Hi.
The number was AU.
That was apparently the number?
Yeah, AAAA.
56709.
56709. Won't get you anything.
I don't think so.
How was your week? I know why you're sighing. I do know why you're sighing.
Do you?
Yes.
I don't think you do. I've been taking care of a puppy, and I don't think I've
slept in 3
days. Puppies are a pain.
I thought you were thinking about a football game.
Oh, yeah, that too.
But you've gotten over that. That was.
Well, I'll never be over it.
Those are old wounds.
But yeah, that was some BS.
Well, these things happen. You know, somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose.
Yeah, but
it's just
how do
the way.
Blow a 10-point lead.
I forgot about that.
Right.
We're talking sport ball,
But you
folks.
went away, so.
Geeks don't care. I went down to Carmel by the sea.
It's so beautiful down
by
there.
By the sea, by the sea, by the beautiful sea. Isn't that a funny name to name your town?
Carmel
by the sea. Dash, dash, dash.
I didn't know about the dashes.
It's Carmel dash by dash the dash.
Okay.
See. We went over to Hog's Breath Inn, Clint Eastwood's bar.
Did you see him?
Didn't see Clint. I don't know if he even owns it anymore. It's actually unimpressive. Can I say that? I imagine some medieval kind of timbered, bar with kind of an old like kind of almost an English, and no, just like it's like a building. It's not anything interesting at all. So who should I? I'm sorry. Why did I?
I went down there a couple years ago. It's beautiful. The scenery is beautiful.
Well, Carmel's gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
Love the Carmel. Yeah.
Anywho, let's go to Jerry in Huntington Beach.
Okay.
Mine
also
too.
beautiful. Also nice. I have a friend who likes to play volleyball down on the beach. Thank you, Kim. Hello to Jerry in Huntington Beach.
Hi, Leo.
Hello, Jerry. What's up in your world?
Well, it should be a simple problem, but I don't know how to fix it.
Computers are funny. They all seem like they should be simple.
Yeah. Well, my old IBM PC that I bought in 1981 was simple.
Yes. It was also very slow compared to today's modern devices.
Right. Anyway, today's problem is I want to change the setup on the email that I've got to where nothing goes into the junk folder.
Nothing. Nothing.
All email messages go to inbox.
You don't want any spam filtering.
Right.
Because you love spam.
Not really, but
It's getting stuff you don't. It's getting stuff you don't want it to get. Yeah.
Spam filter puts stuff in there that doesn't belong in the spam filter, and then you forget about it or lose it, and then that's not good.
So, unfortunately, you can't just turn off spam filtering, but you can double down on it by creating a filter rule that says, take the spam and put it back in my inbox.
I think that's what, I've been going through computers like crazy here lately, and somebody at Microsoft, I think, did basically that.
Yeah. Generally, the problem is that the spam filters are catching something from, like, something you want, like emails from mom. If that's the case, you can set up a filter that says, if I get an email from mom, put it somewhere else. Don't put it in the spam filters. That will bypass the spam filter. But if you wanted to, this is kind of a funny little, crazy little workaround. If you wanted nothing to go in the spam filter, you create a new filter. And you know how in the filter you have different settings. You want to check the one that says doesn't have the words. So it's a negative. It's like if this email does not have the words, and then make it something that'll never have, like something it can't possibly have, which means everything that comes in will not have this word. Ishkabibble. And then you click the box that says never send to spam. And essentially, every email that lacks the word ishkabibble will now not go to spam, which means everything. So you can't turn off spam, but you can turn on another filter that says it's not spam.
That some things go through and others doesn't, but the things
Everything will then, if it doesn't have the word ishkabibble in it, it will then automatically not go to spam. So pick a word that nothing will ever have in it, Does that make sense? That's kind of the kooky way to do it. Better though, obviously, if you know what you want, just say don't ever put that in spam if it's from mom, right? Scott Wilkinson, Home Theater Geek, coming up. Hello, Mr. Wilkinson.
Hello, Leo. How are you?
I am well. How are you?
Good. I am good. I am deep in the heart of packing.
We were in Santa Cruz on...
yeah, well, if you went to Carmel, you had to drive through Santa Cruz.
And I made... Well, you don't have to. You could go the ugly way.
You could go the ugly way.
But why? Go through Seaside and Monterey. And that's how we went home. But we decided to cut over on 280 to cut over to Half Moon Bay and then come down one, which is gorgeous. I was hoping to see some whales. We didn't see any whales. But then I also wanted to show Lisa my old stomping grounds. I said, well,
cool.
yeah.
I used Santa Cruz High School?
Yeah, it changed a lot since I was there. So I'm saying I don't recognize this. Somewhere along this street will be the McDonald's that was my first job. Oh, there it is. There it is. So we passed the McDonald's.
Yeah.
It didn't have the golden arches anymore. It's a modern thing, but that's okay. Then we turned on Walnut and went down Walnut, which is where Santa Cruz High is. I said, that's it right there. Then I drove down the street to what used to be the Pacific Garden Mall, but then was destroyed in 1989 by the earthquake.
And they've rebuilt it.
They have. It's not quite. Cooper House isn't quite as awesome with the outdoor dining and all that.
Correct.
But I did find the Del Mar Theater.
Yes.
The first place I ever made out with a girl. And I said, Lisa, there, see that right there? That's where it all began. Don't make me laugh. That's where it all began. And then, so we had lunch on the mall there, whatever. It's not a mall.
Oh yeah,
on the street. It's nice. It was
really nice. Freezing
cold and windy, so we were just chilly. We had a nice little Mexican meal there in the Palomar Hotel.
Palomar Hotel. That was there when you were there.
Absolutely. It was kind of interesting. In between the new buildings, there were all the old buildings.
That's right.
So Logos had just closed, which was there. I used to work at Odyssey Records on the mall. That's of course long gone. I looked for the Catalyst. I didn't see it.
I think the Catalyst is still there.
It probably is,
sure.
Yeah. And then we got back in the car, drove down the Ocean Street extension, which is funny because you're going to 17, but then you hang a Louis right by Denny's. I said, that's the other place I worked. Go down Ocean Street extension, past the cemetery. I used to hang out there. They put up a fence since, which is too bad. Going down, and then went all the way down Ocean Street extension to the farm. I said, Lisa, this is where our farm was. And it's still there. They've built it up a little bit, but it's still, quite lush and farmy. And then we went on to Carmel. But it was fun. I gave Lisa the tour.
Oh, that's so cool.
Leo's old haunts.
Yep.
But I really love Santa Cruz. I'm jealous. You're now. Where are you? Where's your place? Roughly.
Well, we're going to be roughly. It's up near the university, actually.
Oh, that's right. You told me that.
Yeah,
that's where my girlfriend Kathy used to live up there. Yeah,
okay,
and I had to bicycle up that hill. Oh,
yeah, up Bay Street.
Oh, Bay Street. Oh,
I used to hitchhike, and when I was in college, I used to hitchhike from the bottom of Bay Street up to the university with my tuba.
Yeah,
only VW vans could pick me up.
It's safe to pick up somebody with a tuba. Murderers generally don't carry their tuba with them. So
do you remember when you were there and when I was there? It was known as the murder capital of the world.
Yeah, because we had Edmund Kemper, serial murderer. It was pretty. Yeah, it was a murder capital. It's Santa Cruz.
But it's Santa Cruz.
I forgot to take her up to the UCSC. I'll have to do that.
UCSC is gorgeous.
It's so pretty. So pretty. Yes, you're right, Mike B. He's always right. He says, Leo, you must have an advertiser, a sponsor for this portion of the Tech Guy. And in fact, I do. A great company I'm a big fan of, Linode. Linode. Whether you're developing a personal project, whether you're managing larger workloads, you deserve simple, affordable, accessible cloud computing solutions. Linode's been doing this since day one. I've been a fan of them for years. With Linode, Linode, build applications using a simple cloud manager API. You could do it from command line. A lot of people, because Linode, first attracted the Linux crowd. A lot of people like the command line. I like the command line. You can do that too. You don't have to use the GUI, but they got a nice simple cloud manager. You can quickly scale up or down with standard VMs. Of course, they've got dedicated CPUs. They've even got enterprise-grade GPUs you could use for AI work, for modeling. And the thing I love about Linode, they're geeks. They understand what you're doing, and they're there to support you. It's the best support experience ever. People choose Linode because they want a better customer support experience. They don't want to be, some of these big cloud guys, you're just a number. You're not a human. But with Linode, because they're so independent and because their mission really is to bring cloud computing to everybody, they have a different standard for customer service. The customer is the driving force. So you're not a number. You are a person. They have very predictable pricing. It's transparent, not all this weird tiering and where you don't know and there's egress and everything. No, you pay as you go. Transparent pricing. They actually pioneered the predictable flat pricing model for cloud computing, which if you've ever gotten that unexpected bill going, what? You will be very grateful for, not from Linode. They make it as easy as can be to launch in the cloud, to scale in the cloud, to get flat pricing across every global data center. You get that cloud manager I mentioned. There's an API, very nice API, so you can automate if you want. Best-in-class documentation. In fact, if you want to do something on Linode, you just Google Linode and whatever it is you want to do, set up a WordPress instance or set up, a Ruby on Rails or whatever, or Angular or React. Just Google it, and there's, boom, pages, because Linode folks love each other. They support each other. Linode supports them. It's a great community. And Linode makes it very easy to manage your applications in the cloud. Proven, secure, reliable, enterprise-grade infrastructure. There's 11 data centers worldwide. They've got extensive peering relationships, so bandwidth going in and out is often a lot less, and it's certainly very fast. Their next-generation network is incredible. Linode delivers the modern infrastructure and performance you need to innovate at scale. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. A company that's been in this for a long time, for the long haul, one of the pioneers, but they are up to date, so you get modern infrastructure. So hosting your website, building your app, back up your documents. It's a great, roll your own backup solution. You can launch and enrich developer applications, hosted services, websites. They've got AI and machine learning nodes, gaming services. A lot of people use it for their CI/CD environments. I've often gone to download or something, and it's running on a Linode server, and the Jenkins or whatever runs, and it's awesome. Launch and scale in the cloud with their virtual machines too. You can choose shared and dedicated compute instances, but I'm going to give you a great deal: $100 credit that you can use on anything. Shared dedicated compute instances, S3 compatible object storage, managed Kubernetes, whatever it is you need. G2 Crowd last year rated Linode the easiest to use. I think that's really true. I think that's really right on. That's why cloud developers choose Linode. They make managing complex cloud infrastructure easy with simple bundled pricing, full-featured API, 100% human support. They've been doing this since 2003, 3 years before Amazon. They're the pioneers in this. They've been in the business for a long time. They've got the experience. They've got the credentials, and they're great people who are like you, developers, sysadmins. They understand this stuff. They're not noobs. They're the real deal. Develop, deploy, and scale your modern applications faster and easier. You get $100 in credit, but you got to go to linode.com/techguy, LINODE. They were the first to do Linux servers on SSDs. That's when I signed up. That must have been, 2003 or 4. LINODE.com, linode.com/techguy, $100 credit. Linode.com/techguy. Predictable cloud pricing. No gotchas. No surprises. They're great. Kind of the class act in this business. And we thank him so much for supporting the Tech Guy. Now, let's get back to the show. Without further ado, it's time for the hipster himself. It's funny. People of our generation we used to be hipsters. Probably not so much anymore.
Not so much anymore. No.
He is, but on the other hand, if you call it a hipster, I guess it is. Hipster Scott Wilkinson. Hello, Scott Wilkinson.
Hello, Leo Laporte.
He's our home theater geek. Writes for Tech Hive and lots of other places, and talks about big screen TVs. We're getting ready for the Superb Owl. Hey, I got to say something, though.
Superb Owl,
yes.
Yes.
The one problem I have, I've been watching the Olympics in 4K because I have YouTube TV, and I guess YouTube or Fubo, I think, or Xfinity's X1 box.
Yep.
But, correct me if I'm wrong, YouTube TV, I wanted to watch the opening ceremonies in 4K, but we started late, right? So I forgot it was early on the West Coast. It was 5 p.m. So at 6:30, I'm going, oh, shoot. But that's okay because it's on my DVR. They don't DVR it in 4K. You have to watch it live to see it in 4K.
Oh, I didn't realize
They popped up a thing, which I didn't read in detail, so forgive me if I'm misstating this. But I think it said Oh, 4K files are too big to store on your DVR, so we're going to store it as a 1080p file.
Wow.
Which is a big, bald-faced lie.
Yeah.
Because they only keep one copy of it for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Come on, man. I paid $20.
YouTube TV offers a DVR functionality.
Yes.
Right? You can record things.
And I think some things you can record in 4K. I'll have to check. But
that surprises me.
So I pay $20 extra for 4K, so it's $85 a month.
$20 a month.
But I think for the Olympics, and maybe this is NBC, I wouldn't be surprised at all if NBC said, no, don't let them record at 4K. That's too high quality.
Yeah.
So you have to watch live.
What are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with it? If
well, you would skip the commercials probably. And by the way, it's the strangest thing. You're watching the Olympics and they're doing promos to watch the Olympics. And it's like, dudes, I'm already watching. You don't need a 3-minute promo with The Rock to say how great the Olympics is. I'm watching it, dude.
Yeah, really.
So maybe NBC's worried I'll skip. They paid a lot of money for that Rock.
Yeah.
Maybe they're worried that, I don't know. Anyway, just a little personal axe to grind. They did repeat it, and I guess but they want you to watch. NBC, I think, is doing this. They want you to watch live.
Yeah, it must be NBC. It has to be.
Yeah.
And they're doing some pretty draconian ththings. For example, they're not doing 4K on Peacock, their own streaming service.
Yeah, that's irritating quite a few people who paid for Peacock, and didn't get their 4K. How is is the Puppy Bowl in 4K, Scott?
No, the Puppy Bowl is only HD.
No.
I'm sorry to say, but...
so is the Super Bowl. They're not going to do that. I'm sorry, Superb Owl. They're not going to do that in 4K either. But the Olympics...
Because, Super Bowl's on NBC, is that correct?
Yes.
So they took all their 4K cameras to China.
Yes, that's what happened, apparently. We don't have any more. Just like YouTube can't afford to store 4K content. Right.
Yeah.
NBC, we only have 5 4K cameras. We sent them all to China. Anyway, that's just me griping. I'm just griping.
No, and you are absolutely right to gripe about that. That is unconscionable.
Well, I got to watch live, but it does look good in 4K.
Oh, yeah.
But, I tuned in late, so all I saw is the Parade of Nations, which is not why I tune in the opening.
That gets kind of boring.
That's not why you turn in the opening ceremonies. To guess what alphabetical order in Chinese is. That's not why I'm doing it. I wanted to see, I don't know if they had the big drummers like last time or what. I wanted to see the ceremony.
Wasn't that awesome in 2008?
2008, yeah.
Yeah, that was amazing. So anyway, yeah. Well, okay. So you got to watch live if you want to see it in 4K.
And by the way, it's not live anyway.
No, exactly.
Because live is 3:30 in the morning, so...
Right.
Anyway, it's fine. This is the usual gripe every 4 years, or in this case, every 6 months.
Well, right. I found it amazing when they split the Winter and Summer Olympics, so now it's every 2 years. You get some sort of Olympics every 2 years.
Oh, I didn't know about that. Oh.
Yeah.
So from now on, it's going to be every other year there'll be an Olympic.
Correct.
Oh,
Summer or winter, one or the other.
Okay. That's probably smart.
Although, of course, last year it was last year because of the pandemic. But anyway.
You're probably not watching in 4K because
I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't have YouTube TV. I don't pay for that. I pay for a lot of other stuff, but that ain't one of them.
Yeah.
But I'm watching it in 1080, and it looks great on my Sony OLED. Looks really good.
It is nice because of all the streaming channels, even though they're not 4K. You can watch a lot of different events. I think it's like there's eight different Comcast channels that you can watch this thing on.
Right.
It's kind of remarkable. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I do miss HDR. I would like to see HDR.
Yeah.
I've been watching some of the stuff we've watched is in HDR.
Well, it's amazing to watch the snow stuff, the skiing and because boy, in HDR, it's just the snow is blinding.
That's when you really need a bias light behind your TV.
You feel like you're there. I get chilly because it looks so.
Yeah.
Seriously, it looks cold. It's really cold.
Yeah, exactly right.
So what? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
That's okay.
We're getting ready. Super Bowl is on the 13th. Little more than a week from Sunday.
That's right. That's right.
So everybody's got their fine TV set?
I'm gonna be DVRing it so that I can skip through the game and watch the commercials.
Yeah. I do like the
halftime
commercials.
show.
Yep. And the halftime show. Yep.
That's all I care about. Otherwise, I'll be at the Puppy Bowl.
You could DVR the Puppy Bowl and watch the Super Bowl. You really...
Yeah, no.
Because it's not like if you knew who won the Puppy Bowl, it would spoil it for you or anything.
No, I know.
No spoilers. I don't want to know who won.
Somebody last week in the chat room said, Team Rough or Team Fluff? I don't really care. I just like
what would
watching
make
them romp
the
around.
Puppy Bowl more fun?
What's
if
that?
it was dogs versus cats.
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't
that'd
that
be great?
That'd
be awesome.
Team Rough is dogs and Team Fluff is fluffy cats.
Fluffy cats.
Then there might be bloodshed, but it'd be interesting. It'd probably be more violent than the actual Super Bowl. Come to think of it.
Yep. No, we're going to be, I probably will. I mean, I'll DVR the Super Bowl, but I won't have much time to watch it because we're moving.
Yeah. I see that you have held out one tie-dye shirt from the packing so that when you arrive in Santa Cruz, they'll know one of us. One of us. Yeah.
One of us.
It's funny. I was there over the week because Lisa and I took a little day trip to down that way. And
yeah.
It is still the land that time forgot in many ways.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, it has changed. There's no question about
I
it.
left in 1973, so it has.
I left in 78, so it's changed.
Probably
a
has
bit since
changed.
then.
Yeah. I was coming and going because my mom lived there until 92 or 93. So yeah.
But I still have a lot of friends there, and I'm going to be playing a lot of music there.
Now, here's the question.
Yeah.
High-speed internet?
Yes, higher than I have here.
Nice.
We just got fiber, AT&T fiber in my neighborhood, and I could sign up, but I'm leaving. Anyway, I got Xfinity 600 megabit.
That's plenty. Yeah.
Which is plenty.
That's
and
plenty.
20 up. It's it's what I got now, 20 up.
Do you watch most of your content on streaming these days?
About half and half, I'd say.
Okay. So you still need an antenna. You'll be watching KSBW, Channel 8.
That's right.
The great Channel 8. Yep.
The great Channel 8. The only news I'll watch there because it's the only one local to Santa
It's
Cruz.
the only local news. Well, Scott, so when is moving day? It's next week?
No, week after next.
Okay.
But I will be off next week from here because I have to deconstruct my studio.
You got to pack your tie-dye shirts. I know.
That's right. Yeah,
Yep.
sadly so.
Your love beads. Got to get
they won't be far from the top.
Get the sandals all packed in there.
I'll need those. Yeah,
socks
my
or no socks?
No socks.
No socks, yeah. Never wear Birkenstocks with socks. You look like a German. Scott Wilkinson, Home Theater Geek. Thank you, sir.
You bet.
All right, you know what we do. Birkenstocks,
I
they
know
call
what we
them.
do.
When I was in Santa Cruz, I lived in we bought the house we bought of Margaret Fraser, who was the woman, the nice German woman lady, who brought a Birkenstock to the United States.
Really?
Yes. So we really were Santa Cruzans.
You were Santa Cruzian.
And I remember in the garage when we moved in, there were probably thousands, probably tens of thousands of Birkenstock catalogs. And I don't even remember in the early days of Birkenstock, they had on the back page, you were supposed to get your foot wet and put it on the back page, and it would give an imprint of your foot that you would then send to them so that your Birkenstock would match your foot.
Wow.
And since we had so many of them, I had great fun because I was only a kid.
Right.
Running through those, put my footprints in the back of all of them. Anyway.
Well, Santa Cruz, one of my close friends there owns the Zazu Pitts house.
Oh, yeah, Zazu Pitts Memorial Orchestra, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
They were great.
Zazu Pitts actually lived in Santa Cruz.
Oh, the actress Zazu Pitts.
The actress Zazu Pitts.
Oh, that's so funny.
Lived in Santa
she was
Cruz,
a Santa Cruzan. Yeah.
Just up the street from, just up Walnut or Center, one of those, just up from the mall. And
that's the neighborhood I like. I think that's a cute little.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's all of those Victorian beach houses.
Victorian houses. Gorgeous. Gorgeous.
And they were not destroyed in 1906.
We probably won't be able to afford to live in that.
Yeah, it's pretty fancy. Yeah. fancy schmancy. We're driving around Carmel going, boy, we'd love to live here, but you know.
Yeah, but you know.
Yeah, but you know.
Well,
don't have
Santa
that Jeff
Cruz is going to
Bezos
be
money.
expensive. Yeah, Santa Cruz is going to be expensive to buy there. But we've been looking at the real estate market very carefully and following houses that come up and whatnot. We're renting for a while till we sell our house down here and buy a place up there.
Yeah. And you know, it's kind of went up because of Silicon Valley, but I imagine it's not going to stay that high. I don't know.
Hard to say.
Yeah.
Hard to say.
Driving over 17 every day is not a piece of cake.
Not a piece of cake. I don't plan to do that.
No.
Although, you know, when I get back up to speed as a journalist, I will be covering more of the Silicon Valley.
Yeah, you're right
places.
there. You may surprise yourself. You may be going over 17 more often than not.
More often than I think. Yeah. Yep, exactly right.
Okay,
Well,
you got a minute and a half. Do you want
minute and a
Do
half.
you want to stick around to the for the top as
Sure.
well? Okay, good.
By the way, though, just FYI,
No
I
next
will not,
week.
No next 2 weeks.
2 weeks because you got to move,
2 weeks.
of course.
Next week
Oh, we're gonna miss
packing
Scott.
up my office, and the week after that is the actual move.
Okay, good to know.
So sad.
Next 2
but
weeks,
true.
Scott
Next
will be
2
in
weeks.
transit.
I will. But then after that, I will be coming at you from sunny Santa Cruz.
Awesome. That's exciting.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah,
It's going to be so great.
Yeah. Sunny in the winter.
It's so weird now. I'm looking around my studio and like half my stuff is gone.
Is it? Oh wow.
Oh yeah. I just this morning I had some help tearing down all my sound equipment.
Moving is a good discipline though because it forces you to kind of decide what you want to keep. And,
What you really want to
Yeah,
keep. That's
yeah,
true.
yeah.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway, I'm happy to stick around to the top of the hour
Thank you.
for today. That's
Last
fine.
chance for 2 weeks
Last
to get
chance.
your questions to Scotty.
That's right.
And okay, cool.
So yeah, what we talked about today is totally fine. But I had a reader
Sorry.
question that I'll pick up when I.
I'm sorry. I knew
Well,
I knew I was taking over. I'm sorry.
That's fine. That's fine.
All right. We'll talk in a few.
We'll talk in a few. Yeah.
ATURDAY. Leo Laporte. Yeah, I'm wearing my plaid kilt. How'd you know? The Tech Guy, 8888. Ask Leo. The phone number, Arizona Lou. He's got a question for Scott Wilkinson. Good news. You know, Scott's not going to be here for the next 2 weeks, but I managed to.
I know. I'm glad I got in for
I
it.
harangued him and managed to keep him around. So what do you want to know from Scott?
Well, Scott mentioned a bias light, and you two need to explain why I'm all wrong or you're all wet. Are you ready, Scott?
It could be both.
I'm
be
totally
both.
ready. I am.
Behind your TV to give a little light around the TV, but you said paint the room black. So what's
Correct.
the point in putting a D65 light behind your TV against a black wall? Shouldn't it be a white
And
wall?
here I thought Arizona Lou was going to say, what's a bias light? You know all about it, obviously.
You do know all about it.
Yeah.
That's right. Well,
So just to refresh everybody's memories,
sure.
you can put just a light behind your TV, which kind of glows around it, but they make special lights that are designed to be neutral. In fact, if you really want to go crazy, companies like Hue make lights that will synchronize to what's on the TV.
Yes, but I do not recommend that.
That's a bad idea.
That's a bad idea. But no, you get a bias light that has a particular color of white, put it behind the TV, and the question is a valid one. You know, if you paint the back
Most people
wall,
do not have black rooms.
No, I do, but most
You're
people
weird.
don't.
Yeah.
I'm weird. I'm a geek.
Yeah. Actually, wouldn't 50% gray, something really neutral, or 30% gray be better than black?
No.
No.
No. You basically anything that reflects light off the walls from the screen will affect the quality.
So you
However,
want it to be just absorb light.
Even black though you're going to see some light from that bias light. Even if the wall is
Because nothing's perfect black.
nothing is perfect black. No, you're not going to get what's called a black box. Which is a theoretical thing that doesn't actually exist.
I guess if you hung black velvet and you had the walls be 3 or 4 feet further back than the TV,
you'd be pretty.
You could do that.
Yeah, then the bias light might not be effective. You know, I never thought of that. That's actually a really good question. My room is painted.
It seems to me it would make sense to paint everything black except the one wall behind the TV and paint it white because it's not going to reflect light from the TV anyway.
No, but it will impact the contrast that you perceive. Even if the rest of the room isn't black, you want the wall behind the TV to be black because you want otherwise there will be light reflecting off of that back wall, and it will affect the contrast that you perceive, I should say. So in a home theater, you would paint the back wall black and maybe the rest of the walls dark gray or something else. You never want white walls in a room, in any room, because, well, in your case, you know, you bring up a weird case that I've never heard of, which is paint all the walls black except the back wall behind the TV. That might actually, that's an interesting thought. No one has ever suggested. I feel like
white would not be ideal because that really is going to draw the eye. But maybe that's where you put the 30% gray so the bias light has something to reflect.
I have to ask some of my expert friends about this.
I guess what you're saying, Lou, though, is it's either paint it black or have a bias light, right? Why would you do both?
That's what Lou is saying, but I think still a bias light's still a good idea.
Okay.
Now, a bias light would be the correct color to have you perceive the full color gamut of the TV.
You were saying what, D6? What were you saying, D64?
It's called D65.
D65, yeah, it's about 65,000 Kelvin.
6,500.
Oh, it's the temperature. Okay, 6,500 Kelvin.
Yes,
okay.
Yes, but there's a technical geeky thing about that it's more correct to say D65 than 6,500 Kelvin. They're roughly equivalent, but not exactly.
But if you go, there's like a website like biaslighting.com.
Correct.
That does this. And they have, you know, depends on the size of the light, you know, how big your screen is and all that. You know, they have stuff for $50 thereabouts that would do that.
But you still need...
You spend less money and less wattage if you didn't try to put a bias light against the black wall.
You know, that is a really good question. I had never thought of that before. I still believe a bias light's a good idea. And the black wall is not perfectly absorptive, so some light will be reflected.
You know what my mom always said? When the subject of bias lighting came up, you'll ruin your eyes. One of the things that happens is if everything's darkened except the TV, I think that's hard on the eyes.
It is, which is why you want a bias light in the
She
first
always
place.
said, leave one light on in the living room when you're watching TV, because otherwise there's this massive difference between the bright screen and the darkness around you.
Correct, and your irises keep adjusting, and that tires your eyes.
It'll ruin your eyes.
Well, it won't ruin
she also
them,
said don't stick too close, but anyway, I guess then that means having an all-black room with a TV is not desirable because there is going to be that huge drop-off in luminance from the screen to the walls. And so even then you would want a bias light because you don't want to have this cliff in brightness. You want to have a gradation in brightness, right?
Well, and you also want to, the reason it's called a bias light is you want to bias your eyeballs, your irises.
I thought it was spelled B-U-Y-U-S, by us lights.
No.
No? Okay, all right.
No.
B-I-A-S.
B-I-A-S, bias light. It biases your irises to be in a more comfortable and steady state range. While the TV brightness goes up and down by a lot, your irises don't have to work as hard to...
Arizona Lou, do you have any bias light jokes in your stand-up?
Not yet, but I'm working on it.
I was going to buy a D65.
Part of it.
Then I realized I'd painted the room black.
You know, this is a very interesting question. I'm going to ask the guys at biaslighting.com. The MediaLight is the product they make. I'm going to ask them about that. That's really good.
See, now I have a projector, as you know, a short throw projector. You wouldn't do a bias light around a projector.
You could.
You could?
You wouldn't. Some people advocate for it. I personally don't. I don't think they're bright enough to make it be a problem.
Yeah.
But some people, Joe Kane in particular, who's an expert I respect greatly, has a bias light behind his projection screen.
Yeah. Yeah. HD editor in our chat room says, and I presume he's a video editor, says high-end editing rooms typically have an 18% gray color wall, especially in the color grading suites, because you don't want your eyes to be biased, as it were, when you're doing the color grading. So,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And the correct color of either paint or light behind the TV will bias your eyes to see the colors correctly.
Right.
Correct. That's right.
Right.
In a weird way.
So don't like have red lights behind your TV.
No, and this is why you don't want those hue lights that change. Or Philips did something called ambilight.
Yeah, that's hue. Which
was it's the same thing.
Yeah.
If something red is on the screen, the bias light is red.
Yeah.
And if something blue on the screen, the bias light is blue.
Nutty.
This is bad.
Yeah,
this
don't
is
do
bad.
that. Yeah. Arizona Lou, world's oldest comedian. Arizona, right?
ArizonaLou.com.
ArizonaLou.com.
Oh, man. Arizona Lou, thanks. You've given me something to think about.
It usually does. It's not. It's only funny because it's true, right, Lou?
That's correct.
It's funny because it's giving you something to think about. Thank you, Lou. Thank you, Scott. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. More calls coming up right after this. Thank you, Lou. That was good. That was an excellent and interesting delving into the world of
bias
lighting. All right, Scott, you got 8 minutes and like a lot. 9 minutes.
Cool, man.
Have fun.
User 22200 says, I use a 6000K LED. That's a little red, but okay. Maybe not perfect, but a great improvement. Can't do the black wall. Yeah, well, not many people can. HD editor, high-end editing rooms, high-end editing rooms typically have a gray wall, about 18%. That's what I painted my home theater, 18% gray. Exactly right. Which is exactly why I did it, to see what the colorist intended. Painting a room true black, I don't know. I considered it for my theater. My wife vetoed that, and probably just as well, because it could get kind of creepy in such a place. Not unlike being in an anechoic chamber. Any of you out there ever been in an anechoic chamber? That is an interesting experience. You walk into this square room, and with a 4-pi anechoic chamber that is no echo. Anechoic means no echoes. And you walk in on a like a gangplank, and the rest of the floor is and the walls and ceiling are chicken wire, and under the chicken wire is like 3 feet of foam wedges, so that there's no echo in there whatsoever. And you close that door into that, and they use that for doing testing speakers mostly. And you walk in there and you close the door behind you, and it also has those foam wedges in it. It's eerie. It's really eerie. I've always wanted to actually try to meditate in an anechoic chamber. Haven't had an opportunity to do that, but if I ever do, I will take advantage of it, because you end up hearing the blood, running around in your own body. You hear a lot of things that you normally don't hear. If you have a tinnitus of any sort, you will really hear that. So it's very interesting. User 3489, what made you want to move? Well, several reasons. One is we kind of got tired of the bigness of L.A. L.A. is so huge. We have a lot of friends here, but we hardly ever see them because it takes forever to get anywhere. We wanted a smaller community. We already have a built-in community of people in Santa Cruz, some of which are very close friends of ours, and Some college friends of mine have kids and grandkids now, and they're all in Santa Cruz, and we'll be able to plug in as aunt and uncle, and that's going to be really great. And the weather is nicer, doesn't get screamingly hot, at least in Santa Cruz. It can up in the mountains. Cleaner air, a lot of reasons. I love Santa Cruz. Tell you the truth, L.A. is my home, my birth home, but Santa Cruz is my spiritual home. I've felt that way ever since I went to college there. So that's why we're going. Yes, James. Contestant on Jeopardy the other day made a reference to Tuba Christmas. I couldn't believe it. That was so awesome. Yeah, during the little interview segment, he was talking about ending up having to direct traffic out of a parking structure. And he said, yeah, he was there for Tuba Christmas. I went, oh, man, I almost fell off my chair. That was so cool. iTech says, so you're not watching the Super Bowl to see Snoop Dogg, Eminem, and Dr. Dre. I'm not fans of those particular artists, but I will tape it or record it and watch them, probably, the halftime show. Micah. Oh, Micah. Hey, Micah, how you doing? Next time we go to the beach boardwalk, I'd love to meet you. Yeah, absolutely. Please, give me a call. When you come down to go to the beach boardwalk, I would love to meet up with you. That would be awesome. Awesome. And get this, being in Santa Cruz, I could drive up to Petaluma. I could come hang out in the studio when the COVID thing gets a little better. I hope to do that. I would love to do that. Tokyo Tony. My wife is now asking us to build an anechoic chamber. She can throw me in there and shut me up. Yeah, she would not be able to hear you in there. And you would not be able to hear her in there. That's for damn sure. Let's see. If you had a TiVo, you can auto-skip the game and watch just the ads. Is that really true? I thought... certainly with some DVRs, you can auto-skip the commercials, but I'm not sure if you can auto-skip the show. Hey, Phoenix Warp 1. Yeah, I mean, I plan to, come up and visit the Twit studio at some point. It'll be much
I think we're going to be opening up pretty soon because I really think this is kind of the last gasp. I'm hoping anyway.
I'm hoping that there's not some other surge.
Yeah, I think every winter will probably, there'll be something like the flu.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, I don't know. No one knows, but we'll see.
Yeah.
There was a good article in the Atlantic saying it could be worse, not better. Don't get your hopes up.
Yeah, and there's some new sub-variant of Omicron that's I've seen.
Yeah, the BA2, yeah.
Yeah. So, when it's possible, I would love to come up and visit you guys.
Well, of course. And I think, I think that's going to be this summer, almost certainly. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
That will be loads of fun. Let's see here. User 3489, 240 refresh rate is a must, correct? No, I wouldn't say it's a must. It's better. I would go for at least 120. 60 is not as good, so I would go 120. 240 is nice, but I don't think it's a must. iTech, does LG still make the best TV panels? They make the best OLED panels, yes, which are also used in Sony and just about everybody else who makes OLEDs. Vizio, for example, LG, of course. But LG OLEDs are usually the least expensive, and they're excellent, excellent. So there's no question that they are really great. Now, as far as LCD TVs, no, LG does not make the best panels. I'm not sure I would be able to offer a good opinion on who makes the best LCD panels. There aren't very many LCD panel makers. Most TVs companies get them from the same one or two makers, and I don't think they're any of the big names. But I'm not sure about that. I do know about OLED, and I know about LG. Anyway, so that's how I think about that. Let's see here. Yeah, Jeopardy, Tuba Christmas. That just knocked me over. Yes, I will be in next week. I won't be in transit next week. 2 weeks from now, I'll be in transit. Actually in transit, but next week I'll be packing. And the set you see behind me, say goodbye. It is about to go away.
Will you rebuild it in the new locale, or you'll have it? It'll look different.
It'll be a different one. It'll be different. I won't be able to build the same set.
Changes are always good. Actually.
Change is good once in a while. I love this set. I've had it I had it since my podcast, and all the time I've been on the show here.
Yeah,
it's been great. But no, most of this stuff's going in storage.
What can you keep? Speakers, the lava lamp.
Oh, I'm going to keep all that stuff.
Yeah.
How much?
I see. But the rental won't have as much room.
My office in the rental is actually very small.
Oh.
So for the next months or a year, as much as a year, I have to live in a much smaller office.
I see.
But the place where when we buy,
we're going to have a massive office.
Massive office and music studio.
Yay. Well, Scott, I will see you in 3. Have a wonderful move.
See you in 3. Thank you.
Be cool.
I'll
see
be
you in
cool,
Santa
man.
Cruz.
You betcha.
Bye.
Bye now.
Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the tech guy. It's time to talk computers, the internet, home theater, digital photography, smartphones, smart watches, all that jazz. 8888 Ask Leo is the phone number. 888-827-5536. Toll free from anywhere in the U.S. or Canada. Outside that area, just use Skype. You could still call. It shouldn't cost you a penny. 8888 Ask Leo. Michael's on the line from Santa Clarita, California. Hello, Michael.
How you doing, Leo?
I'm great. How are you?
Not too bad. Just a quick little note. I ended up buying an LG TV not too long ago based on recommendations from your program, and it has turned out really, really great. I'm glad I got it.
Did you get the OLED?
No, it wasn't an OLED. It was a lower model LG, but it's so much better than what we used to have.
Yeah, they're good TVs.
Really enjoying it.
They run something that geeks will remember called WebOS. That was briefly going to be the future of Palm, and then HP bought it, and they couldn't figure out what to do with it, and they finally sold it off. And now it's the last place you can still see WebOS, which I really liked when it came out. I thought this is going to be a great phone operating system. But nope, it was iPhone and Android, and that's all there was room for. So what can I do for you today?
Well, my question is, my daughter has been accepted to college. She's been accepted to a medical program.
How exciting! That's great. Congratulations.
Yeah, she's finishing off her senior year at high school, and right now she has got a Chromebook that she has used since her freshman year, but we're going to need to upgrade to a Mac. And, of course, taking a look at what Mac has, is just kind of wondering what would be the better one for her in terms of college.
So right now there's 2 different kind of grades of laptop. I presume you want a laptop, yeah? Or no?
Yeah, they're suggesting that it's a medical program. They're suggesting that she get the Macs.
A Mac laptop. Yeah, that's of course the first thing to do is always call the school and say, what do you guys use? Because if they have a bias in one direction or another, you want to know about it, because she shouldn't have to be the outcast in the bunch. But if they prefer Mac, that's fine. That's good. And it's going to be a little more powerful, obviously, than a Chromebook. I doubt, though, that in the initial years she'll need something super powerful. She's going to take a lot of science classes. So there's 2 grades right now of Mac laptops. There's the original M1, and then they recently, 6 months ago, released M1 Pro and M1 Max-based laptops. So there's a pretty good power gradient from the base MacBook Air, MacBook Pro 13-inch those are the low end running on M1, which, by the way, they're still great. They're a year old. And then the new ones, which came out a few months ago, which is the 14-inch MacBook Pro and the 16-inch MacBook Pro. And those are running either the M1 Pro or the M1 Max. You could kind of split the difference and get an M1 Pro. It kind of depends on your budget. I bought, when the new Macs came out, I bought the 14-inch base model, which was about $2,000. Now, you can go a lot higher. Our video editor guy at the podcast network, Anthony, we got him the high-end 16-inch M1 Max, and that maxed out almost $5,000. So there's a big range. And actually, if 2,000 is too rich for you, frankly, the MacBook Airs are an excellent student laptop, and those start at $1,000. So you have a pretty good range of prices. The one other thing I should say is she'll be starting in the fall. When does school start?
Actually, she is going to be starting in June. She graduates on June 1st, and she's going to be starting June 6th.
Oh, wow, no break. Yeah, well, she might as well get used to it. She's going to be a doctor.
Yep.
Yeah, golf doesn't start until your 12th or 13th year, so she'll be good. This is good. She's got to work hard. Apple will announce probably new Macs. There's a possibility they'll do it in their March event, which we now think is March 8th. Much more likely it'll be in the June event. So that might be, and that'll be like second week of June. So that's going to be a little late for her. She probably wants to get it sooner than that. So what's your budget? I guess I should have asked that up front.
Actually, knowing the price of Macs, we're okay with going up to $2,000. Okay. So we're fine with that.
The Airs are great because they're super light, super thin, super portable. The new M1 based Airs are the least expensive MacBooks and have sufficient power for most of what she's been doing. Did they give you any indication of how much power she should be looking for? They just said Mac.
The number of they suggested Macs for a couple of reasons, because it'll sync up with some of the stuff that she has, because she's got an iPhone.
Yeah,
and
but they didn't say like the students here's a program you're going to be running, or here's how much power you need, or how much RAM you need, or anything like that.
They weren't too specific. Some of the students that she was talking to at an open house, all the students were recommending Macs.
Yeah.
Looks like some of them have like 14 inches. So
and by the way, there is a student discount, so you should probably look at the college bookstore to see if you could buy it there. Otherwise, Apple does. If you have a student ID, you can get the student discount. So that's about $100. So.
Great.
I think a good student laptop is the Air. It's lightweight, so it's super portable, excellent battery life. It's fanless, very quiet, and it's the same power as the 13-inch MacBook Pro. If you want to step up in power, like I said, I bought the M1 Pro 14-inch MacBook, and I think it's fantastic. It's kind of, for me, the best compromise laptop. So if thin and light and low price is important, MacBook Air is a great choice. Do get 16 gigs of RAM. Get the most RAM that you can get. And storage, she's probably going to want at least 1 terabyte of storage, which will bring the price of the 14-inch up above $2,200, I think. But I would say the base model 14-inch is a very, very good choice for kind of bridging the gap between power and price. I think is a good choice.
That sounds great, because we're looking for something that's going to last her a little while until she at least finishes her bachelor's before she.
Yeah, it'll get you 4 years. When she actually enters medical school, she's probably going to. By then, there'll be something even better. So, and she might need it. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I think.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it really comes down to price. You're very welcome. I'm a big fan. Like I said, I had both the original M1 and now the new upgraded M1 Pro. They're both excellent machines. If you want, you're buying the latest MacBook Pro, if you get the one with the M1 Pro or the M1 Max, the 14-inch, I wouldn't get the 16. I think that's going to be too big and bulky for her. Price will also, be big and bulky. I think the middle of the line MacBook Pro 14-inch, probably all the difference, just so you know, between the M1 Pro and the M1 Max is all about graphics processor. Not going to be important probably for her. It's more important for videographers, for photographers, people working with large graphics files, Photoshop and so forth. Perhaps, I'm not sure what software she's going to be using. Probably in her bachelor's, not anything too sophisticated. So M1 Max is overkill and price-wise as well. So go with the M1 Pro. 16 gigs of RAM, terabyte hard drive, 14-inch. I think that's a very good choice. Thank you for the call and congratulations. That's really, really great news. 8888 Ask Leo, that's the phone number if you want to talk high-tech. I'm here for you. I like spending your money, but as you can see, I'm not going crazy. I didn't say go out and buy the $4,500 one, although I'm sure she would like it. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. For coding, for battery life, just for everything that you're going to do, I would say that middle of the road 14 is a good choice. I sure like it. Boy, do I like it. Hey, I want to tell you about our Tech Guy sponsor of the hour, Melissa. Melissa is a very popular tool for anybody who keeps address lists, customer lists, supplier lists, people who want to receive information from you or people you're sending bills to. Almost 15% of the U.S. population moves every year. 15% gone. Your customer information is slowly rotting away. A lot of customers your business could be missing out on. So Melissa is here to help. They are the address experts. In fact, they've been doing this, experienced, independent, 35 years doing data quality management. I'm going to guess in the early days it was mostly zip codes, right? Remember when the zip code came out and you had to look up a zip code and then the +4? But now, over time, over 35 years, they've extended what Melissa can do to verify addresses, emails, phone numbers, even names, and they can do it in a variety of ways. That's why they're known as the address experts. It's also why customers love Melissa, a 92% renewal rate. People just, hey, it works. I'm going to use this forever because I want to make sure I reach all my customers. The ROI, the return on investment for Melissa, typically about 25%. It pays for itself and then some. If you're tired of duplicate customer information in your database, Melissa's got data matching that'll help eliminate clutter and duplicates. For a long time, I told this story before, I was receiving a catalog from Restoration Hardware, 4 of them, same one. Big, thick, full-color catalogs. Must have cost them a mint. They were sending me 4, same address, same name. Man, I could tell they weren't using Melissa. Dedupe it, Don't annoy your customers. Don't waste money on postage and mailing costs. They'll do batch address cleaning. You can take an entire address list, upload it to their secure FTP server. Boom, it's clean. Download it. They'll do it not just for accuracy, but for completeness. So they'll fill in missing gaps. Many people use Melissa for identity verification. That's actually very valuable to reduce risk, to ensure compliance, keeps customers happy. Geocoding, they will actually convert addresses into latitude and longitude if that's something you need. Email, is that something you need? Somebody must, right? I mean, they wouldn't provide the service. I'm trying to think of why. Maybe for delivery, truck scheduling or something. I don't know. Email verification, they can remove up to 95% of bad email addresses from your database. And they are flexible. As I said, you can do the FTP thing, but you can have it on-prem. There's a web service, software as a service. They've got a lookups app on iOS and Google. You can use to search names, addresses, and more. And you should never worry about your security. They undergo regular independent security audits because they're committed to your data's privacy, its security, and of course, compliance, which is probably something you have to consider. They're SOC 2, HIPAA, and GDPR compliant. And great, you sign up for support, great support. If you get a service level agreement 24/7 from the Melissa's Global Support Center, they're really good. Melissa is a leader in the field. In fact, I want to congratulate them because they were once again named second year in a row in the Data Quality Magic Quadrant by Gartner. And G2 Crowd's 2022 report ranks Melissa as a leader in both address verification and data quality software. That's why they're the address experts. Make sure your customer contact data is up to date. One more way you can use it as an API. You could try the API in the developer portal. Log on, sign up, and start playing in the sandbox 24/7. Get started today with 1,000 records cleaned free at melissa.com/twit. melissa.com/twit. We thank them for their support of the tech guy. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. 8888. Ask Leo the phone number. Tokyo Tony, my buddy from Chandler, Arizona, on the line. Hi, Tokyo Tony.
Hi, Leo. How you doing?
I am well. How are you?
Doing good. Nice and warm here in Arizona.
I'm jealous. It's cold and snowy all over the country.
Yeah, well, we get it in the summertime, though, when it gets up to 115. So.
Yikes. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
I just have a general question I've always wanted to ask is, two-factor authentication is great.
Yeah.
Love it. But why isn't it an option when you log into, like, a laptop? So, for example, on my Mac Air, if I'm at an airport and I want to make sure it's extra secure or I lose it, somebody could take it. They could try to brute force my password and finally get in.
Modern MacBooks, in fact, have fingerprint readers, which is two-factor. It's a second factor. And if you want to secure an older MacBook, there are ways to do it with, I've always talked about these YubiKeys from Yubico.com that I have. They're little hardware USB keys. You can actually set up a Macintosh to require that physical hardware to log in. But the most important thing you're doing on the Macintosh, and I'm sure you're already doing it, is turning on the hard drive encryption.
Yes.
Because if somebody steals your laptop and the hard drive encryption is on, unless they can brute force your password, they can't decrypt the hard drive. It's just nonsense to them. So if you turn on FileVault, and all modern Macs come with FileVault turned on by default. It's phones too now, by the way. All phones are encrypted by default because encryption is now built into the hardware. It doesn't slow it down appreciably. So they say, well, might as well. That's good. It means you'd have to unlock the laptop to see what's on the hard drive. If you don't have a very good password, if it's monkey123, it's possible somebody could steal your laptop and guess it. So it's probably good to have a good password. But if you want to have even more, the modern Macs have fingerprint, and you could, and there are, it's complicated. But if you Google, Mac login YubiKey, you'll be able to find the instructions for doing it. It's possible to set it up that way, and that's super secure. If you were a member of Congress, I would do that for sure. Of course, they're the ones least likely to do it, right?
Right. I didn't know. I thought you had a choice when you have the fingerprint reader. You don't have to use that. You could still use a thief could still use your password to try to get in, right? Or
yeah. In fact, you're exactly right. The fingerprint reader, while it is two-factor, is really more a convenience because it replaces the password. And if you have the password, then you can bypass it. You're absolutely right. So Yubico, which makes the YubiKey, has a page, securely log into macOS with the YubiKey. That's going to be, if you really want it secure, if you're worried about leaving it lying around, if you use that plus FileVault, you basically have an impermeable computer. It's just not, it's never going to, nobody's ever going to be able to do anything to it. That's using the YubiKey as a smart card, basically.
Gotcha. I was just thinking that Apple could make it an option. For example, your phone is a two-factor, so
yeah, that's a good question.
And then you can come up that little number, or you push your fingerprint on your phone, and then you go in. It would be probably the easiest way to do it. I thought since it's so important, Apple. That's a
really interesting question. I actually hadn't really thought about. And they don't have, like the phone, they don't have a thing that says if you try this password more than 10 times, erase the hard drive. Exactly. They do have Find My, though, which allows you to erase the hard drive remotely. So
I thought about that, but if they get away from Wi-Fi, then there's no way for you to. I mean, look, I don't know. I don't think I'm that important, but I'm just kind of thinking.
No, but it's an important question for people who are worried about that. You can turn on. Let's see. There's two-factor for your Apple ID. I wonder if you can require your Apple ID to log into your Mac. That would do it, wouldn't it? But I don't know if they allow that. So Apple does have two-factor for your iCloud. Yeah, and I'm looking how to enable Mac's new built-in two-factor authenticator. Oh no, this is just for the password manager. So yeah, I like the idea. If you are. You're not, this all comes down to your so-called threat model. That's what the security wonks use, is a term that says, what are you worried about, basically? And if your threat model is you're, the president of a country or a member of Congress or a famous movie star, your threat model is different than you and me, where, hackers aren't going to go after us individually. It's very hard if you are a target, a specific target, to secure your stuff. In that case, FileVault, which is Apple's built-in encryption, is very good. And if you used that with a YubiKey to lock your laptop, you would have to have this physical key. Then they'd have to knock you on the head when they steal your laptop and steal your keys too. That kind of thing.
Yeah. I'm just also thinking I have a iMac at home. Somebody breaks into my home, takes the computer. I have a lot of sensitive documents on there. Nothing earth-shattering, nothing proprietary, but I got stuff on there that,
I love the idea, and I'm surprised Apple hasn't done it. You hit something that'd be great that would say, okay, you want to get in your Mac, where's your iPhone? And then it could do that almost transparently using Bluetooth. Bluetooth LE, it knows your iPhone's there already. For instance, you can paste stuff from your iPhone into your Mac. That would be a simple thing for Apple to do. I don't know why Apple hasn't enabled that, but that's a great feature request for the next macOS. I like that idea.
You do it with your Apple Watch now, right? You got
that's right. Watch on. Well, in fact, I do log on. I think I can log on to my Mac with the Apple Watch, can I? Yeah. Yeah. But it's not two-factor. It doesn't say, okay, now give me your password.
Right.
And that's what you're saying. You want two different things required. You have to know a password and have access to the iPhone or the Apple Watch or a YubiKey, some additional factor, so that a bad guy can't just guess your password. I think that's a really great idea. Yeah.
Okay, just didn't know it was a stupid question.
It's not, actually. I'm going to have to do some research, and we can maybe lobby Apple to do that. That would be really great. Because Apple really wants everybody to own all the Apple things. So this is in their interest, right? If they say, hey, for extra security, if you've got an Apple Watch and an iPhone, you get extra protection. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Okay. I like it, Tokyo Tony. Is it hot today in Chandler?
Right now it is 62 degrees.
Oh.
It's going to go up at about 65. Sunny, of course. No rain.
It's pleasant.
Put a light jacket on and you'll be
pleasant. Fine. Yeah. Hey, it's great to see you. Thanks. Great to hear from you anyway.
Talk to you finally.
Thanks for calling, Tokyo Tony. Regular in our chat room and in our Club Twit for the podcast network. So it's nice to see him or hear him in person. I always say see. It is, though, isn't it? I mean, if you close your eyes, I can see Tokyo Tony coming up in just a little bit. I don't know if it's anything like what he looks like for real. I don't know what he looks like. If you hang on for a little bit, we've got our great Johnny Jet. I can see him because he Skypes in, and so I know what he looks like. Johnny will be talking about travel. We're starting to open up. What's that mean? How should you plan your next trip? Stay tuned.
Hey, Leo,
how's your dad?
He's doing all right.
Is he asymptomatic still, or?
Yes. Did I tell you that last week? Did he?
No,
just
you didn't. But Lisa follows you on Instagram or something.
Okay, because I thought it happened right after I got off the phone with you. I got a phone from my call from my sister, and I was like, "What?" it's his second time getting COVID. Then I called him up, and he's like, "Hey, it's Mr. Kogan." I go, "I'm sorry." He goes, "Did you hear I tested positive for Kogan?" I go, "What's Kogan?"
He calls him Kogan?
Yeah, because he can't hear or see, so he can't see very well. So he thought the virus was called Kogan.
That's hysterical.
So, and he was like, they're wheeling me out of the room right now. The nurse is there, and I can hear him say, "What did I do? I didn't do anything." And so they put him in isolation, and it broke my heart because, I call him every day, multiple times a day, and, I could hear him just saying, "Please," after I got off the phone with him, he doesn't hang up, so sometimes I listen. Oh. And he goes, "Please, nurse, can you please come in? I'm lonely. I'll read you poetry. I'm really a good writer." And
get a book.
He can't read.
Get a book.
Okay.
Called Being Mortal.
Okay, got to write this down.
Really, really good. I got it. Somebody recommended. I got it for Lisa when she had a relative pass in the hospital. It was because of COVID, a terrible experience. It's about how we treat aged people, and in the process, it's a little grim because it's it's a roadmap of where we're headed. But if for anybody with an older parent, it's a must read. It's written by a geriatrician, a doctor of geriatrics, Atul Gawande, Gawande. It's a great read.
Being Mortal.
Being Mortal. But it's you and Natalie should both read it because it's about relating to helping older people. It talks about it's really fascinating. Talks about how nursing homes started and it's called Being Mortal: Medicine and What Matters in the End.
Well, I just posted a link that I wrote a post about my dad because I get so many questions. I don't want to just keep writing it. So anyway, I just put it in the chat room. But anyway, there's a story on there. Not a story. Someone wrote this amazing essay about what it's like to grow older.
Yes.
And they're just saying to just understand where I am. Just I want you to be with me.
That's this book.
Okay. So you got to when you have time, you have to read it. I mean, it'll take 2 minutes, but
I will.
It is very powerful.
I will.
I remind myself now. I read it like once a week because I get so frustrated sometimes talking to my dad.
It's so hard, but we have to put ourselves in their shoes. This book, you will. This is a must read.
Okay,
absolutely.
I put it in there.
Yeah. But he's asymptomatic right now?
Asymptomatic. He only has one.
God bless the booster.
He gets isolation out tomorrow.
God bless the booster. Isn't that amazing?
His nephew, my cousin, is like on life support basically because he did not get vaccinated. And this just shows you the difference.
It just shows you the difference. And it just gets me that people are so anti-vax when it makes such a difference. I mean, here's a 93-year-old guy with COVID, asymptomatic.
Yep.
Asymptomatic because he's vaxxed and boosted.
Exactly.
And Lisa and I, Michael had it. He had just gotten his booster, but it was fairly mild, it was like a cold. And Lisa and I are tending to him in the same house. We didn't get it. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Well, I have a sore throat right now and a cold, and my daughter has a cold.
Did you get tested?
Not yet.
Yeah,
I just got it this morning.
Yeah, go get tested. It's funny. I had never been tested until Michael got it. Now I've been tested like many, many times.
I've only been tested twice.
Yeah, you get used to it. The PCR is nice because they don't have to stick it so far in because it's so sensitive. They just swab your nose now. It's very easy. Here we go. Listen. We're hitting the road again. COVID's over. Yay. Well, maybe not quite, but
I wish.
It feels like we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And if you're thinking about getting back into traveling, technology is going to help. Johnny Jet's here to help us. JohnnyJet.com, his newsletter's there, his podcast, great articles. You should subscribe to the newsletters. Those are free. Hi, Johnny.
Hello. So the TSA numbers, yesterday, 1.5 million people went through security checkpoints. Same day, 2019, 1.6 million. It was 78,000 difference. That's it, which is shocking because, a few days before it might have been like 500,000.
Yeah.
But it just shows that people are getting back out there. And a lot of countries actually in Europe are now...
They're opening up.
They're opening up.
Yep.
I mean... Denmark, Norway. As long as you're vaccinated and boosted, most of these countries are requiring that. Some of them requiring 260 days. You have to have your last shot. So if you haven't been fully vaccinated, you're going to need to get boosted to get in. Some are 180. Israel's 180 days. You've had to have your last shot.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
and there's still some countries, China, Hong Kong, where they're going for zero COVID, and they're still very, very, very restrictive.
Australia, New Zealand. New Zealand this week said they're going to open up, but it's not going to happen until October, at least for everyone else, if that's the earliest. And I think the same with Australia. I mean, they're starting to open up too, but again, it's going to take some time.
But you know what we did, and it was wonderful. Lisa and I drove down through. We saw Santa Cruz. We went down Highway 1, watched the ocean, went to Carmel by the Sea. I know you know it because your friend has the Post Ranch Inn in Big Sur. We didn't get as far as Big Sur, but we love Carmel. It's beautiful down there. And every restaurant we ate in was outdoors, COVID, protocols in place.
Crowded?
Not too crowded, even though the what they used to call the Bing Crosby Clam Bake was on, the AT&T, the big Pebble Beach golf tournament.
Oh, okay.
And that brings a lot of people, of course, to the area.
I bet.
But even then, it wasn't too bad, and we were able. Every restaurant, even the fancy Michelin one-star restaurant we ate at, had courtyard outdoor seating. So we were very comfortable and felt very safe. It was good.
That's good.
Yeah.
And how about the
we
weather?
got to
Because
travel.
down here, the Super Bowl is coming up. I know you must have been really bummed about that game.
Well, you lost.
I'm sorry, but not sorry.
You lost our ticket dollars. We were going to go down. But now that we're not in it,
saved you a lot of money.
Saved us a lot of money.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
But it's going to be exciting. I think it's going to be great weather because this
Will
whole
it be
week
crowded?
70, 80s.
I'm looking at the playoff games, and they were all full stadiums.
Oh, it will be sold out.
So it'll be sold out, yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
It will be sold out.
Bengals fans coming all the way from Cincinnati to see the hometown team play in SoFi.
Yeah.
It's nice.
And the stadium's amazing.
Yeah, I'd love to have seen the stadium. Henry, my son, went for the playoff game that we lost, the Niners lost, but he said the energy was incredible. Really a fun event.
I really want to go. So
he, like most young people, is, basically his life is normal. He's already had COVID twice. Hey. He's vaccinated, boosted. It's like,
Same with my sister in South Florida. I mean, she's like, COVID?
COVID, what's that? Yeah.
Anyway, so there's a really good deal right now. If you're looking to surprise Lisa, lie flat seats. It's from Newark, but to either Paris or Milan for $2,800 round trip for two.
So all we have to do is get to Newark.
Yeah, it's $700 per person each way, which is incredible for a lie flat seat.
On what airline?
La Compagnie.
Never heard of them.
It's a French airline. They fly A321 Neo jets, and it's only 76 seats on the plane.
What?
Oh, every seat is business class. It's 2x2 configuration.
Oh, it sounds wonderful.
So I'll put the details on my newsletter.
I would love to
Twitter.
surprise Lisa with a trip to Paris.
So the thing about this is that, first of all, it's only out of Newark. So if you don't live near Newark, you got to get out there.
Okay, you don't get to Newark. That's fine.
They also don't have a lot of flights. So in case something gets canceled, you could be stuck a little bit. So keep that in mind.
Stuck in Newark's not my dream.
Well, hopefully be stuck in Paris.
Stuck in Paris, I can live with.
Definitely. So just keep that in mind when you do it, because they don't have a lot of flights like every other major carrier.
Right.
They can at least get you to London and then wherever they can get you out. So keep that in mind.
I'm buying a ticket right now. I'll figure out how to get home.
Okay. And some news this week: Southwest Airlines said they're bringing back alcohol on the flights later this month, which
I don't think that's a good idea at all.
No, it's not. Flight attendants are not happy.
This has been the problem is, you hear about all these problems on flights now, and it's always drunks.
It is, and it's not because they're getting it on the plane, because most of the airlines cut back, especially in coach. They're getting tanked in the airport, or they're bringing it on board, which you're not allowed to do, but they're doing it. So, and also because there's been so many unruly passengers this week, the CEO of Delta Airlines actually formally asked the Attorney General to create a no-fly list. They talked about it months ago, but now he actually really asked the Attorney General, and they're looking into it. But you know what? I don't think it's going to happen, because I think less than 1% of these people who are getting thrown off the planes are being arrested or even fined. It's a kind of a joke.
You're kidding.
No, and that's one of the big problems. I mean,
they're not getting punished?
Not really. You know, they get arrested. They're on the news.
Well, don't tell anybody that. Oh,
Well,
no,
then
you're going to jail for years, buddy.
Yeah, well.
They're not.
No, hopefully,
they go, okay, fine, you had a good time. You sober up? Okay, let you go.
But you know what? If this goes through, this will make a difference because then you're not going to be able to fly on any airline. You're going to be treated as a terrorist if you're
a no-fly list because you were unruly. Yeah.
Yes, but you have to be convicted for that to happen.
It's dangerous for everybody. Don't be unruly on a plane.
It's just not only dangerous, it's just a total hassle for everyone.
Unpleasant.
And, you know, there's people out there, I just don't understand. This week, actually, it might have been last week, United Airlines, there was a flight from Newark to Israel, and people tried to upgrade to business class because the seats were open mid-flight. And they said, sorry, the pilots turned around and dropped them off, but the flight got canceled because the pilots and flight crew timed out. So it just is a real inconvenience. And I just don't get these people who just shut up, put your mask on, and enjoy the flight.
You know, part of the problem with news is it only focuses on the horrible stuff, and it doesn't give you any, you know, there's no, you know, they should put it next to a pencil to measure the, so that you get, this is, because it magnifies things. And so, you know, there's a couple of incidents a week. Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's not a lot.
It's not that many given the number of millions of miles flown every week. And here's the real question, is it worse than it was before, or are we just paying attention?
No, it's definitely worse. It's like the amount of, you know, what disturbances there have been in the last year were more than every year combined since according to the Flight Attendant Union.
I honestly, the quarantine has been so bad for our mental health. I think that's the reason, right? We're nuts.
Well, that's one reason, but it's really the mask. I think 70% of the problems
about not wearing
are about
a mask.
the mask. And they just don't want to be told what to do.
Don't tell me to wear a mask. You're wearing pants. Who told you to wear pants? Go ahead, try taking them off. Let's see how that works out.
And it all depends on the flight crew. My friend sent me a text yesterday of a photo of her flying back from London to Seattle, and the passenger next to her had the mask on like a unicorn. And she said it was a whole flight he wore it like that.
Just to show that I'm not a puppet.
Yeah, I mean,
but you're a puppet all the time. You wear pants. You don't walk down the street naked, dude. Oh, but I'm choosing that.
Well, I'm not wearing pants
come on.
right now.
Well, you're not? Oh, Johnny.
I'm kidding.
There's a rule on this airplane. Everybody must wear pants. Yeah, it's like the guy who I guess wanted to show he had rights, who got up on the cart and defecated on it. Nice. That's good behavior. Yeah, you got your rights. Congratulations.
That was before.
Why aren't they charging these people? Why are not they throwing them in airplane jail? The airports have jails, don't they? Little airport jail? Just a little.
I don't know if they do.
Make them eat airline food for a couple of weeks, then see how they feel.
Yeah.
JohnnyJet.com. JohnnyJet.com/newsletter. JohnnyJet on the Instagram, on the Twitter. I hope your dad feels better. He's got the Kogan. And I hope you stay safe, and we'll see you next week, Johnny. Thank you.
Thank you. You too. Let's put that in the chat room. I'll tweet it out.
I want to do this. $1,351 round trip from Newark to Orly, direct flight, and it's all lie-flat seats.
Yep. La Compagnie.
Yeah, no, I'm on the website. I just booked it for April 1st through April 15th.
Well, hey, I'd love to hear that.
I'm not going. I can't do that. In fact, you know, even if, I mean, I could really tempt Lisa because she loves Paris. But even if we did do that, she might be nervous. Like, we're going to wait. She's going to wait. We are, you know.
Well, I should have mentioned that you can fly coach, by the way, not on La Compagnie because they don't have coach.
They don't have no
but
coach.
Other airlines. I mean, I was just looking San Francisco to Vienna, 438 round trip. So and you can go all around. That was Copenhagen actually, but you can do it pretty much every city in Europe from now until mid-May, and then they stop. Then the fares go up, and then in September to December they go down again.
Is La Compagnie new?
No, they've been around for I don't know how many.
It's all business class, and they're doing all right, huh?
You know, they were not doing well during the, obviously, they shut down for a while.
Ooh, you can go to Nice as well if you want to do the south of France.
Yes.
Ooh, but I would do Paris. We miss Paris.
That's my wife's favorite city in the world. But I just interviewed one of my readers, actually, who just returned from Paris. And actually, I did it while she was in Paris. And she talked about it because she contracted COVID while she was there. She didn't know until she was taking the test to come home. So she had to quarantine while she was there. But
see, that's why Lisa doesn't want to go.
But she was asymptomatic, and she made the most of it. And,
sure.
And she wasn't upset. But yeah, that's why I haven't traveled internationally, because I'd be afraid that I would test positive even if I'm asymptomatic, and I wouldn't be able to come home to see my kids for a couple weeks. And you have to pay for it. Unless you get insurance, which we can talk about sometime.
It looks like La Compagnie has free changes, no change fare, which is nice.
You know what every airline does now? That's the one silver lining of the pandemic, because except for basic economy fares. So for like Delta, you know, don't buy the basic economy or American or United.
Right.
And also these low fare carriers like Spirit and Allegiant. You know, you really have to read the fine print to make sure you can change it. And that's why I've been telling people, if you are going to travel overseas, book it on a U.S. airline. That way, if, you know, there's another variant and you can't get there, you can at least fly somewhere domestically by booking on a U.S. carrier.
Wow, this La Compagnie looks so cool. Oh my gosh. Oh, dreaming. I'm going to show Lisa. I'm going to see if I can talk her into it.
All right, good.
We're going on a cruise in July, but it's Alaska, and it's kind of work because it's the club. And
it's definitely work. You got to go to Paris. She deserves it.
She deserves a week in Paris. We could just go for the weekend.
Yeah, it's
That's
too bad
cheap to get to Newark.
Coast.
Well, it's not that hard to get to Newark. That's easy. SFO to Newark's not hard. We get up. We go on Mint, and we could lie flat. Get up, lie flat again.
Yes.
All right, John.
All right.
I'm glad your dad's
week.
doing okay. I'm sorry that he got it again. Wow.
Yeah.
That nursing home full of COVID. Read the book. There's also an interview. If you Google it, there's interviews with him on Frontline and stuff.
Okay.
Have a good one.
You too.
Bye. I'll say hi to Mike B when I'm in Newark. No ads, just the content. That's what you get when you join Club Twit. You even get extras like Twit Plus, our new bonus feed just for members, and exclusive access to the Club Twit Discord community. Join now for just $7 a month and support Twit as we continue to create top-notch podcasts you expect and deserve. We're just getting started, so be one of the first to join as we build Club Twit from the ground up. You could be an early member. Go to twit.tv/clubtwit to learn more and sign up now. Thanks. This is not my radio show. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. 8888. Ask Leo the phone number. Let's say hi to Tom. He's on the line from Warren, Ohio. Hi, Tom.
Hey, Leo. How you doing today?
I am great. How are things in Warren?
Snow up to the garbage can lids.
Yikes.
Cold.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Wow.
15 inches on Martin Luther King Day, and Thursday night into Friday, we probably had another 15 inches more.
Yeah, I saw that you guys were getting that second dose. Wow. Well,
yeah, that was that big, what was it, winter storm Landon.
Yeah. They call them bomb cyclones.
Yeah. It was, I've never seen it this much in my lifetime.
Wow.
I'm going on 65, and it's pretty awesome how much snow we got. But
yeah.
My right arm's about to fall off from shoveling.
I can imagine.
Yeah. Hey, Walkie-Talkie on iPhones. Can you do that on Wi-Fi, or is it
You mean on the Apple Watch Walkie-Talkie?
Yeah, on Apple Watches. A friend of mine wanted to know she could talk to her granddaughter, and she was going to use walkie-talkies, but I didn't suggest that. I said, well, she has an Apple Watch. I said, I think the girls are maybe about 4 years old. And
I don't know if she wants an Apple Watch. How far away does the granddaughter live?
They live right next door.
Yeah, you could do walkie-talkie in the Apple Watch, but she'd need an Apple Watch
Does it have to be hooked to the Wi-Fi, or does the Apple Watch have to have cellular?
You can buy it. No, it can work over Wi-Fi. You can buy it. It can use Wi-Fi. It can actually use Bluetooth to an iPhone, so it could then use the iPhone, or so it can use cellular Wi-Fi. And if you had and Apple Watches don't do well without iPhones, so I'm sure.
Right, that's what I thought.
Your friend has an iPhone. The 4-year-old's going to be a little bit of the issue. I don't know if you want to get an Apple Watch for a 4-year-old. It'd be cheaper to get her just a little walkie-talkie. The family radio, FRS it's called, and it would go next door easy.
What's that one called? FRS?
FRS. Here's a dirty little secret. They don't want anybody to know this. It's the old CB band. But now they call it FRS, Family Radio Service. And they're inexpensive. You can get a pair of them for, under $100, I think. And the kid, a 4-year-old would love that. Talking to a grandma on the walkie-talkie would be so cool. So cool.
One other thing I wanted to check with you. I don't want to hold you up too much.
Sure.
They don't put the SSDs in Chromebooks anymore. My wife broke her Chromebook, and we're looking at getting another one, and they have the eMMC.
Oh yeah, they use the cheap. Not all, but most of them do, because it's not. Yeah, it's not very fast, and eMMC. Yeah.
That's a big difference. They're a lot slower. Can you?
They're slower.
Chromebooks with the SSD.
You still can. It's going to cost more. So the way the way they save money in Chromebooks, the reason you get a $200 Chromebook is they cut costs.
They're trying to even make them less expensive.
Yeah, exactly. They cut costs, so they usually have bad keyboards, trackpads, screens. And another way they cut costs is instead of having SSD, they use eMMC, which is essentially a micro SD card. So you've used eMMC. It's a SD card that just goes in there. And
might just look. I don't know how well they have.
It's not the reason it doesn't matter so much is most of the time on a Chromebook, your storage is not on the computer; it's in the cloud. In fact, that's the hardest thing for people who use Chromebooks get used to is the idea that you don't really want to put stuff on your hard drive. You want to let the Chromebook store it on Google Drive. So
we're not storing anything, and I never usually do. But
so that it's a little slower is not a big deal, and it's also cheap to fix because often when they open it up, you see a micro SD card in there. That's what they're actually using. So it's SSD would be faster and better if you're using Windows or Macintosh. Certainly, you want SSD. You don't want eMMC. But on a Chromebook, because storage is not as important, I think it's probably okay. But yeah, if you get an Acer Spin or one of the higher end Chromebooks, they're not going to be $100. They're going to be more like $500. You'll get a much faster drive. But again, that's why a lot of these come with 16 gigabytes. I mean, they don't come with much storage because you're not supposed to really use them. The idea is for a Chromebook, two reasons you don't want to use local storage. One, if you get malware on it, you want to use Power Wash, which wipes the whole thing out, brings it back to the factory state. And all malware is gone. And you're not going to get malware, but if you did, it gets it back to the factory state. The other reason is if you lose it, the idea of the Chromebook is you get a new one, log in, and there's all your stuff, which would not be the case if you save it to the local drive. You want to always use the Google Drive. And everything on a Chromebook kind of does that.
Okay.
All right.
Very good.
You can get a pair of walkie-talkies, family radio service walkie-talkies on Amazon for $29. The Motorola T100 Talkabout. And if she's next door, it'll work just fine. They have more like a mile range. They have a longer range. It's CB. So you can teach your 4-year-old, go, breaker, breaker, 19. We got a Smokey.
Smokey Bandit.
Got a Smokey on our tail, hauling the hogs. Great to talk to you, Tom. Stay safe in all that snow.
All right, we will.
Man, it's funny when you don't live in the snow. I grew up in the snow, of course. When you don't live in the snow, you miss it. Like here in California, it'd be so much fun. Everything was snowy. 6 feet of snow. That'd be so cool. And then when you live in it and you got to shovel it, you realize that's not so cool. That's not cool. Kelvin, San Diego, Leo Laporte, the tech guy. No snow in San Diego, I don't think.
That's for sure. There's definitely no snow in San Diego.
Good.
That's for sure, man.
One reason to love it.
Yep. So, my question for you is, so I failed my live stream 3 weeks in a row now.
You did what to it? You failed it?
I failed.
How did you fail?
I'm tired of failing.
A live stream fail. That's embarrassing. What happened?
Well, my microphone was not loud enough, so my music was overkilling my stream.
Yes.
You couldn't hear what I was saying.
I've done that too. I've done that too. It's easy to do. What are you using to stream? Are you using OBS or what are you using?
So I'm using the Zoom P4.
Oh, yeah. We talked about that before. So
yeah.
Does that have a live component? Like you can plug that into the computer?
Yeah.
And use it like a microphone? Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
So my question is there a way to like have a green screen room and test it all?
Yes.
That I can use?
Yeah.
What would I use to do that?
So when I was streaming my Valheim games on Twitch, I mean, nothing like you. You do some amazing pottery online, but I was just streaming a game. People would, I had a chat room open and people would say, we can't hear you. The music's too loud or, like that. And then so for me, that's what I would just do. I would start it and say, can you hear me? And they would tell you no, and you can mix it that way. But you can also pre-record. If you use OBS, almost any package will let you do this, but certainly OBS Studio will do it. You can say, I don't want to stream, I want to record. There's a button right below the streaming button. And you just record it, and then you play it back, and you go, oh, that sounds okay. There are meters, but they're not very good. They're not useful. I don't think they're useful in the way that the professional meters that we use here are. But there are and I know you're blind, so the meters are probably not super helpful. Can you see it all? I can't remember.
No, I can't see it. It's basically the most foggiest day you've ever seen in your life, all the time. So
okay, so you have a little vision, but not much.
Yeah, I can see the shapes. But,
yeah, so if you put your eyes right next to the screen, you might be able to see the meters going, blah, blah, blah. But it's pretty hard, even for a sighted person, to balance the audio that way. So just record it and play it back. And, you probably got great hearing. You could tell immediately and adjust it accordingly. Good to talk to you, Calvin. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. There is snow in San Diego, Kelvin. The chat room, which knows all, they say you can go to the mountains, just an hour away. Go to the Cuyamaca Rancho State Park, and you'll get an afternoon of snow. Not that you want it.
No, I'll take my 72 at the moment. So
yes. Oh, Lisa and I always think we should move to San Diego. I think we'll go down there next month. We'd like to go down to the Hotel Del Coronado and
yes,
love that. Yeah. So sit on the beach.
If you want a quick tour of my studio, I'll be happy to.
Oh yeah, I will. If I'm going down there, I will let you know because I would love to, and we would like to buy some pottery. So
for sure, and you can see all the stuff that's not on the website.
Good.
Because I have a lot of story pieces that are coming out over the next 6 months. So,
nice.
Of people's stories, and I basically tell people's stories, and I make a piece that tells their story. So,
wow, you're so cool. You're super cool.
Thank you, man.
You're super cool. Thank you, Kelvin.
So, just a quick update for you. That fraud thing I told you about.
Yeah.
We got it solved.
Oh, good. Did you get your money back?
Well, he got his money back. We just closed the account, and then that way we just worked it out.
But you had sent him stuff, right?
Yeah, but it was broken shipping. So I was able to do insurance on it. And
beautiful.
We say, hey,
so everybody's happy.
Stop the claim.
Yeah.
So,
good. So it really did break in shipping. So he wasn't completely fraudulent. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So, all right.
Good. I'm glad to hear that, Kelvin. Have a great one.
So, all right. You too.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the tech guy. Time to talk computers, the internet, home theater, digital photography, smartphones, smart watches, all that stuff. 8888 Ask Leo. That's the phone number if you want to talk high tech. 888-827-5536, toll free from anywhere in the U.S. or Canada. The hams are correcting me. N4BFR in our Discord chat says, no, Leo. No, Leo. Citizens Band and FRS are distinct. I didn't realize CB is still around. Citizens Band is distinct from other personal radio service allocations like FRS, GMRS, MERS, UHF, CB, etc. They're all unlicensed radio services like Walkie-Talkie, not like ham, where you have to get a license. And they can be used for business communications or personal communications. So truckers used to have CBs and all that. The range of CBs about Citizens Band about 3 miles. And apparently it's on 462 megahertz. I'm sorry, it's on 27 megahertz. Family radio services on 462. So apologies. I don't know why I confused the two. They're similar in the sense that they're they're available for public use. You don't need a license to use them. 8888 ask Leo the phone number. Michael on the line from Anaheim. Hello, Michael. Push that button. I didn't push this button. Now I can say it. Hello, Michael.
Hey, Leo. How are you?
Well, I'm great. How are you?
Good, my friend. Hey, I recently started using an iPhone 11, and anytime I do a voice to text, all names, first and last name, appear all in caps. I was wondering if you knew how to resolve that.
So what are you talking about when you say voice detect? You mean voice dictation? What are you talking about with voice detect?
Yeah, so if I'm sending a text message to somebody and I say, hello, John Smith, how are you? John Smith,
it capitalizes it in dictation. Well, let me try that. Yeah. That's interesting. Huh.
And it happens in notes, too. If I'm keeping, like, if I just do the Apple Notes, anytime I speak anybody's first and last name, or even just first name, it comes out all in caps. And so when I go back and have to, edit the document, I have
That's
to
weird.
And change the name. Yeah.
Hello, Henry Laporte. What is your name, sir? See, it's not doing that for me. So I'm going to guess that it's in caps because it's getting the name from your contact list. Have you looked at your contacts to see if they're in caps?
That's possible. Yeah, some of them are, and yeah, maybe that is where it's getting it from.
Because it's it doesn't know the names, but in order to get the names right, it actually uses the contact list as a dictionary, and yeah, it will copy the capitalization in your contact list. So,
yeah, that's a possibility. Yeah, because the majority of my contacts are in capitals. Another thing, though, when I'm doing text messages and it's doing the predictive text, it also will suggest things that are in all caps.
Okay. So this is then it's a different situation. All right. If other things are also doing this, there is, because there's autocorrect, right?
So like I'll type in the word peanut butter, and then like when I go to select peanut butter from the list, sometimes it'll make that word caps, and I'm like, no, I don't.
And when you say caps, is it all capped or just the first letter of each?
The entire word. Yeah. It's like bold. It looks like I'm shouting out.
Like you're shouting at him. Yeah. So yeah. So I don't. That's interesting. I would still look at your contact list, but now that you've told me that, it sounds like something else is going on. There is on the iPhone an autocorrect dictionary. So I would check that, make sure peanut butter is not somehow getting auto-corrected. There's auto-capitalization, but all that does is capitalize the first letter of every sentence and the first letters of proper names and stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't think that makes... Yeah, that's not it. Why would it do?
That's why I called you, because every time I try to search for it, to how to fix it, it just kept telling me about the auto capitalization, and I shut it off, and it still does it. So I was like, there's got to be another setting.
That's really interesting. You're not shouting at the phone, are you? No, I'm just teasing. Wouldn't it be funny if the iPhone measured the level of your voice. If you whisper, it makes it all lowercase. If you shout it makes it all uppercase. I don't think they do that. There has been, of late, a lot of complaints about autocorrect on iOS. Because one of the things iOS does, and this is a bad thing, is it doesn't just get the corrections from you. They're doing some sort of crowdsourcing in the keyboard. And I'm wondering if that might be related to this. Lately, people have been really complaining about the choices it makes. They're saying, I never use that word. Why is it suggesting that? So if you go into the settings, this was in response to that. If you go into settings, into general, and reset, among the reset choices are the keyboard dictionary, which means that any custom words it's got in there will be reset. And so that that's been recommended because of this weird thing where autocorrect is giving you suggestions that you don't make any sense. But it might also help in this case. So look at the contacts. Make sure they're normally cased. I bet they are. Now that you mentioned peanut butter, it sounds like something else is going on. Look at your keyboard dictionary. Because you have there's a local autocorrect dictionary in addition to the kind of general one. And here's, Scooter X has been doing a little digging in the Apple discussion forums. Autocorrect changes first names to all caps. So yeah, this person says, go into settings, general, keyboards, English. There is an auto capitalization setting. That, as in my knowledge, is to auto capitalize the beginning of sentences and proper names. But apparently, according to this guy, and this goes back to 2018, it did fix the weird auto correction. So you might turn it off and on again, something like that. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'll take a look at it. So you think it's in the keyboard settings somewhere?
So this autocorrect is in the autocorrect is in reset. So settings, general, reset. The keyboard settings, general, keyboards. There's a setting for auto capitalization, which you can turn off. I initially rejected that as a solution because that's designed not to capitalize whole words, but just the first letter of proper nouns and at the beginning of a sentence. But somebody is reporting on the Apple discussions forum, we'll put the thread on our show notes, that it did in fact fix it. When he turned it off, yes, the beginning of sentences weren't capitalized. That's not what you want. But then he turned it back on again, and peanut butter was no longer uppercase. So maybe there's something, a bug of some kind. I don't know. All
right. Well, appreciate your guidance. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. A couple of things to try. Sometimes, I can't guarantee a fix. People were really complaining about autocorrect. That's like in the last couple of months. People are saying, why is it? And some of the autocorrect suggestions were awful. Like, no, I would never want to say that. Why are you suggesting that? And it turns out Apple has some sort of collaborative thing where it's not just looking at what you type. You'd think autocorrect would learn from your typing alone. No, it's learning from other people who have horrible habits and say terrible things. And so apparently it's picking up, your phone is picking up bad habits from other people. So if that's happening to you, there is a way to reset it. It's in the reset settings. But then you're going to lose all the customization. So maybe that's not the best solution. I don't know. I'm sure Apple has at some point addressed this. It's trying to fix it. 8888. These are horrible suggestions. 8888. Ask Leo. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. More of your calls coming up. Micah says a friend of his was having a hell of a time with it. Even after we reset it, it was still doing weird things. I wish I could find some of these tweets from people, because just hysterical tweets. But like the things that autocorrect was suggesting, just bizarre. Micah, when are we going to get you back in? I miss having you here on Saturdays. I have to work too damn hard. Whenever you feel safe, you come on in, okay? Oh, yeah, yes. That goes way back, DYAC. Yeah, that goes way back. But this was a newer, weirder problem. Like it wasn't just bad autocorrect. It was like, just like, what are you thinking? Why would I ever want to type that? Yeah, DYAC goes back a long ways. I forgot about that. No, Sonoma County. Well, no, I don't think I don't know. I'll ask Lisa, but I don't think we're affected by the mandate because that's gatherings of more than 50 people. So I don't think that we are it's more like if you feel safe around me than anything else. I mean, and so it's really up to you. John's in here, Burke's in here. So I don't think we would prohibit you from coming in. It's more whatever your comfort level is. And I don't want to put any pressure on you, man. So FRS goes up to 2 miles. GMRS, I don't know what GMRS is. That's on UHF. That goes 3 miles. MERS is VHF, that's 6 miles. CB on AM is 6 miles. Single sideband CB, 12 watts, 10 miles. 100 watts, 15 miles. Which is probably the farthest if you're not a ham. Huh. Pedestrian to vehicle. Breaker 19, and we got us a convoy. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Galia, in our chat room, our Discord chat, had an interesting thought. You know how there's something called Google bombing, where you can affect Google's search results? If enough people get together, they can change Google's search results by linking on their website. I can't remember how you do it, but Google bases its search results on links, and so if it sees if 100,000 people do an incorrect link, Google's gonna it's a computer. It's just gonna say, okay, that must be right. Galia wonders if you're getting that kind of thing with autocorrect, like if there's autocorrect bombing. Like, I'm not talking about. So in the old days, they would autocorrect would be terrible, but I'm talking about just weird. And as a perfect example, Faux Pas in our chat room says, and I don't know if this happened or not, but it's the kind of thing I'm talking about. He says he typed in on his iPhone veggie burger, and it auto-corrected it to chicken. Now that would be, if that's the truth, and I think it is, that's an example of what I'm talking about. Like, it's just weird. Why would you think I typed chicken? I understand if I typed veggie burger and you replaced burger, with burper or something, that you thought it was a typo, but that's not what, if you type veggie burger, it's not a typo for chicken. Oh, he said it didn't really happen, but it's like that. And Kim's saying, well, I just did it and it didn't happen. But Kim, that's the point, is it's different for everybody. So somehow autocorrect is getting information from other people, but the results aren't the same across the board. It's very strange. It's a semantic correction, says Danielle. Yes, I know. I sound like I'm talking to ghosts, but they're actually real people. They're just in the chat room, and I'm seeing their never mind. Michael is on the line. Oops, that was Michael. Roger's on the line from San Diego. Hello, Roger.
Hello, Leo.
Hello, Roger.
Okay.
Roger.
Yep. I came across a really good deal on a OnePlus 9 Pro.
Yes.
The reviews on it were pretty good.
Yeah, it's a nice phone.
Only I'm currently on AT&T. I went over there and talked to them, and they said they won't support it on 5G.
Ah.
And the only way to get 5G is to buy a phone from them.
Okay, that's not true. It's a nice try. I can't guarantee that the OnePlus 9 Pro will work with AT&T's 5G. The problem is the bands, the frequencies they're using. And it may be, you know, this phone is made in China. It's made for a global audience. It has radios. It certainly will work in the U.S., but and it says 5G, but whether it will work with all 5G, there's 3 different kinds of 5G. There's low, medium, and high band, and they're on different frequencies. So your customer sales rep, and I want to underscore sales there because the guy's doing a good job of trying to get you to buy their phone, is telling you it doesn't work with the frequencies we use. Now, you can verify that or not by going to gsmarena.com, which is a site where they put phone specs, and you can type in the actual exact model, and you want to make sure it's the right model because companies like Oppo will make models for different geographic regions. So you want to make sure it's the model. You know, yours probably said global, but you're going to want to look it up and make sure that it supports AT&T's radio frequencies for 5G. AT&T, it's interesting because 5G, what they call millimeter wave or high band, which is very, very high frequency, is not offered by everybody. I think Verizon, I think AT&T are also doing it, but it's in a very limited area. You have to be very close to the towers. Unless you're in that particular area, it's nothing to worry about. Then there's mid-band and low band. And the low band has been around for a while, 700 megahertz. AT&T offers it. T-Mobile offers it. It's much more ubiquitous, but it's not much better than LTE. You wouldn't miss it if you didn't have it, let's put it that way. The one that's interesting is this new C-band, which AT&T is rolling out along with Verizon. C-band is kind of mid-range, 4 to 8 gigahertz, and actually is quite fast, hundreds and hundreds of megabits per second. There was a C-band tower just put up in our neighborhood, and I went over, I tried it. I couldn't believe I was getting 500 megabits down. I was mind-boggling on a phone.
Wow.
Wow. Now, do you need that? Probably not. So that's the other thing is, oh, yeah, you won't be able to use our latest C-band tower, but maybe you will be able to use LTE and the low-band 5G, which is roughly the same, and are fine. So it really depends on what kind of speeds you need. Most people, 100 megabits is plenty.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
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 So there is Android headlines. The OnePlus 9 series won't work on AT&T's 5G network. That was accurate. The iPhone will, whether you buy it from AT&T or not. The Google 6 Pro will, whether you buy it from AT&T or not. So the sales associate was telling you the truth in the first clause of the sentence, but not in the second clause. They want you to buy a phone from them. They make more money. But honestly, you can get an unlocked phone anywhere. But you do want to make sure it'll support those frequencies. And it may be, in fact, I don't know what AT&T has done. I wouldn't. These guys are a little predatory. I wouldn't put it past them to say we're going to make sure that nobody uses our frequencies except phones we sell. Maybe they did that. Maybe they did that, but I'd be surprised. I'd be surprised. And again, who cares? Who cares, right? Do you really need that speed? That's a nice phone. You're going to like it a lot. Has a very nice version of Android on it that was developed by OnePlus. I think they're good phones.
Oh, good.
All right?
All righty. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. It just won't get the super fast speed. I'll be honest with you. I was at California Department of Motor Vehicles. I thought, I'm looking at my phone. Oh, I'm seeing, I've never seen this before, designation on my phone. I did a screenshot of it so I could pull it up and I could tell you. It was 5G, and then next to it had UC. I've never seen that before. Let me do a speed test. 503 megabits down, 15.6 megabits up on the cellular band. That's crazy. Now, of course, I don't get that anywhere else in town. I have to go to DMV to get that kind of speed. But honestly, do I need 500 megabits down? That's faster than most home internet, right? That's faster than most work internet. But what would you need 500 megabits down for? There's not. I can't think of much, especially on a phone, right? So, but I was impressed. So there you go. T-Mobile, AT&T, and Verizon all putting in these. Well, AT&T and Verizon are putting in these C-band. I'm not sure what the 5UC is. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. What is the use? I should look that up. T-Mobile 5UC. It's a new icon. Okay. To tell you when you have real 5G. It stands for ultra confusing. Okay. Ultra capacity. Okay. Ultra capacity. So 5G means low band, which is that 700 megahertz, you know, no better than LTE, basically. But it's low frequency, which means it goes everywhere, right? So it's 5G technologies over the same frequencies as LTE, right? UC, though, is T-Mobile's mid-band, something it got from Sprint, I guess. Or it's high-band millimeter wave, if you can get it. Anyway, I guess in Petaluma, I've got UC in, you know, at DMV. I have to be over at DMV. I think the DMV is probably near the highway. I noticed some new towers went up on the highway. That's probably what it is. Yeah, I mean, there's reasons you wouldn't want that speed, including the bandwidth caps. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. 8888 Ask Leo. So, Verge had a good article explaining all of this nutty phone stuff. T-Mobile acquired, when it merged with Sprint, something they call 5G UC, which the Verge jocularly said is ultra confusing. No, it stands for ultra capacity. And it is, in fact, that mid-band 5G, and that's why I was getting 500 megabits down. It's pretty impressive. The slower low band that T-Mobile and others offer really is basically LTE, you know, using the 5G technology. So it's not much faster. And again, what am I going to do with 500 megabits down? I mean, it's nice. It's faster than my home internet. I guess web pages, you know, fly up and an email, you know, downloads quickly. But if you have that much bandwidth but you still have bandwidth caps, all that means is you're going to use up your available gigabytes pretty darn quickly. So that's not a good thing. I think it's mostly a marketing battle between T-Mobile and AT&T and Verizon. Verizon has UW, ultra wideband. That's its millimeter wave, which no one gets. You have to be within, I think it was 80 feet of, or is it 800? Maybe it's 800 feet of the tower. So you have to be fairly close. And it's only available in very limited areas. They're slowly rolling that out bit by bit. T-Mobile, again, wants to get that ultra capacity out to more and more people. And, of course, AT&T has low-band 5G, and they call their millimeter wave higher speed 5G plus. I don't know if AT&T, what they're going to designate their C-band, the middle stuff as. I don't see that on here. That's the one that, of course, the FAA and the FCC got in a battle over because some airplane manufacturers were saying, well, that's going to screw up our altimeters. You don't want planes to crash, do you? I think they've kind of solved that one, because AT&T and Verizon spent billions of dollars for that middle band frequency, and not to be able to use it would be a problem for them. And again, you know, I think if you're getting on your phone anywhere probably most phones are getting around 10 to 20 megabits download speeds, a couple of megabits upload speeds. That's LTE. That's plenty. 4G. That's plenty. I mean, I guess if you're, are you watching movies on your phone? What are you doing that you need more than that? And in most cases, on most networks I've found, I'm getting more like 100 megabits, like a lot. Again, more than enough. So don't worry so much about, whether you can get those magic frequencies. I think that's probably not the most important thing to look at in a phone, right? Jim from Menifee, California is next. Hi, Jim. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Hello, Leo. Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks for calling.
I have a Mac computer.
Yeah.
That kind of put on the tabletop.
Okay.
And I basically go on YouTube and I watch videos and then I put a comment down.
Yeah.
And then I go and look at another video and I'm like saying, looking at motorcycles and reading the reviews, right?
Yeah.
And so the comment I wrote about how I like Ford Mustang GTs. And then I'm looking at the motorcycle review, and it says, I love Ford Mustang GTs. And it auto puts my comment in that video.
Oh, that's wrong.
Yeah. And it leads them wherever I go. Like a little bunny rabbit leaving my little present.
So, wait a minute. You leave a comment on one video, and YouTube is putting it on other videos on the same subject, but not the same video.
Exactly.
Well, that bad old YouTube.
Yeah, and so it isn't like I'm clicking on reply or remark.
It's just doing it.
It just lays it down there. So then I go, okay, let me delete it. It let me delete a couple times, and now it will not allow me to delete it. So then I would edit it, and now it won't allow me to edit it. And then if I try to edit it, it just puts it down again.
What is going on?
Do I have David or Alan? Which one is it? 2001.
You got HAL 9000.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Dave, but you can't do that.
Yeah.
That is weird. I've never heard of such a thing.
Yep. 4-year-old Mac, maybe 5.
I don't think it's the Mac.
Okay.
I think it's YouTube. I mean, look, if you manually copied the comment, are you copying it onto your clipboard? No. You're never typing Command C. No. Yeah.
No, this is just little me writing a 5-word sentence.
So I'm looking on YouTube Help, and somebody has posted this. This is 3 years ago. When I comment a video, the comment is sometimes copied several times, up to 17 comments, to which the response seems to be, it's just a bug. It's not related to the Mac. By the way, the person says, I can't even delete the repeated comments.
Exactly.
Yep. Are you using any browser extensions?
Well, I have the Google Chrome.
That's the browser, but you don't have any YouTube, like YouTube DL extensions or YouTube Buddy or anything installed, do you?
No.
No, because there are extensions, quite a few of them, to, quote, improve your YouTube experience. And one of the improvements might be, I don't know, let's copy everything everywhere. Yeah. But if you're not using those, I would go into your Chrome, your browser's extensions, and just to look what extensions you have. I think it's in the advanced section of the settings, just to see what extensions are installed. This is something everybody should do all the time, because one of the ways malware authors try to get their stuff, it's usually not a virus, it's usually just adware where they kind of pop up ads or change your homepage. But one of the ways they do that is by hijacking your browser. And they do that by installing extensions. And it's even possible to install extensions without people's approval or kind of sneak it in. So it's a good idea periodically, I always do this, to go into your browser, make sure you're running extensions you want and nothing you're not looking for. That's the only thing I can think of. It may just be a bug. It's in YouTube. One thing you could do is clear your cache on your Chrome browser. Maybe it's got a corrupted data cache, and it's somehow that could be it. You could clear your browser history on your browser just to see if that fixes it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it's not the Mac. It might be Chrome. It might be YouTube itself. I would investigate Chrome just to make sure it's all operating as expected. No additional extensions. Clear the cache. Reset it. Others, in our chat room are saying, "Yeah, I've seen that happen." I think it's a bug. It's a stupid bug, but I understand. You don't want your reputation ruined by, saying this is a great video on a video that's terrible. Reviews that you leave on a video should stay with that video and no other video, obviously. Computers make mistakes. They do. It's not really computer error. It's the computer's doing exactly what it was told to do. But the human who told the computer what to do was wrong. I see that on Amazon a lot, and I think that's intentional in Amazon's case, where a review of a product is not of the one that the listing is for, but of one from the same company or related. I think Amazon often, just takes the reviews and sprays it across everything, even close. Maybe that's what Google was doing. I'm not sure. Suggestion from the chat room, which is good. Alberta Guru says, try logging out of have another user profile on your Mac. Always good to have a clean one that you don't use. Log out of your account, log into that dummy profile, see if it still happens there. If it doesn't, this is a great diagnostic tool for all sorts of weirdness on the Mac. If it doesn't, it's tied to your profile on the Mac, and that kind of narrows it down. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. They call it a personal confuser for a reason. Da 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 da. You know what that means? You hear that disco tune? He's dancing in. It's dancing Dick DiBartolo, our disco duck. Hello, Dickie D.
Leo, how are you, pal?
I am great. I got to tell you, I got the upside down French press came yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Didn't come, unfortunately, in time for our road trip to Carmel, but I made it upside down coffee yesterday, and it's great.
Yes.
The quintessential inverted French press.
Exactly.
And you make it, it's a French press that you pull instead of push, the plunger, and then you take the top off, you put the grounds aside, and you have a nice little thermos bottle, which is great. In fact, I should have made some for the show today. I could have had my coffee. So thank you.
No, you're welcome. And also, you read the directions. Dennis was saying, Dick, are you sure you have to be on your head to make
you know what? This is a constant battle in the house. There's no directions that came with it, right? So I'm looking at the box. Lisa says, Leo, please watch the video. I said, no, I can figure this out. She said, Leo, you remember when you put the mattress cover on the wrong side? The mattress was upside down and we were really uncomfortable. Remember that? I said, yeah. She said, what did I tell you to do? I said, watch the video. She said, watch the video, Leo. So fortunately, I did go onto the website and they have instructions. It was good because I had no idea how to use the thing. And I'm glad I watched the video. I did not stand on my head, but I did. No, okay. I did sit upside down in a chair. So, yeah. Anyway, it works. It was really good. I was really impressed. So thank you. Dick joins us every week with a gizmo or gadget, and I often buy them. I'm ready.
Yeah, well, you might buy this too. Okay, so last week I talked about the Sea-Doo Switch, a boat that was $17,999.
Not going to buy that. Yeah,
no. This is 1% of that cost. Quickly, what's the math, Leo?
1% is like $1.50. I don't know. No, it's $10. $17.
There you go. $17.99. Okay. So
what is it? Is it a boat? Can I sail it around?
No. I got this via Johnny Jet. Who's every week, and I get his newsletter.
Yeah.
And he said, if you want a neat little Bluetooth travel speaker, get this on Amazon.
Oh, it's the size of a shaving cream top.
Yeah, it's called the EWA 106.
Mini Bluetooth.
And it's a great little. You know what? Let me just play a little bit.
This is the streams are crossing. Johnny Jet is giving a recommendation to Dick, who's giving it to me. Oh, that sounds good.
It's a brand new day and a brand new
That sounds good.
Baby.
I like that music too. That's good.
Yeah. That's the Weston Gizwiz theme, and that way you don't have to worry about YouTube taking anything down.
No, never play real music. Yeah.
No, Paul Minchell just gave us the rights to that.
Yeah, no, that's a good song. The company just made me watch a long slideshow on copyright. And I hope, Professor Laura, I hope you watched it too, Laura, because we can get a lot of trouble for playing, but not that. We own that.
That one was pre-cleared already. So it's a little guy. It's a little more than 6 ounces. Okay, it's Bluetooth only, so there's no way to
wires,
put an audio cord into this.
How do you charge it though?
Waterproof, USB micro. I wish it was USB-C. I know. USB.
That's all right. I have some lying around for just this occasion.
Oh, okay, very good.
It sounds good, and it's really small.
Yeah.
I mean, like the top on your shaving cream, that just the top of that thing?
That's a perfect analogy.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah, fits in the palm of your hand.
Yeah, and on the little video that I made, I throw it in a glass of water. It came out fine.
And it costs 1% of a Sea-Doo boat.
Exactly, $17.99.
Actually, that's a good price.
No, I think so too.
Yeah,
I think so too. And
that's a terrible face, by the way. Did you choose the thumbnail for your YouTube video of the week?
No, they did. It's very funny because
you can choose it yourself.
I know. Well, sometimes I forget to go back and pick a different one.
It looks like you bit a lemon, dude. You don't look happy. Okay.
Yeah,
so
I will change that.
Yeah,
I will change that.
There he is, much more normal looking. And here's normal. I don't know why I'm showing the video. You've got this in your little hand.
Yeah, exactly.
But I see the video on your website, gizwiz.biz. Wow, you're putting it in a cup of water.
Drop it in water.
Does it play underwater?
You know what? It plays a little bit. If you drop it in water too deep. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. That's neat.
No, the funny thing is when I took it out, the musicians were cleaning their ears. So I guess
they're tilting their head. 6 to 8 hours of playback, it says. That's nice.
Yeah, exactly. Depending on volume.
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty neat for the money.
I can't believe it's $18. That seems like...
Yeah. And it's very funny. It ended... a half hour ago. It was a lightning deal.
Oh no!
And Leo, it was so funny. I was reading an article this morning. It said, "Can I put an Amazon link on Facebook?" And it said, "Amazon says yes, and Facebook says yes."
Well, wait.
But wait. When I plugged our show, I said I'm going to talk about.
It goes up. Yeah, they're not.
And it's sold out.
It's sold out. Well, now wait though. Because
you could get one in silver.
It's $17.99 if you get it in black, but if you don't mind getting it in copper or silver, it's $16.14.
The silver is nice.
Yeah, who cares what color it is?
Yeah,
you're going to save a couple of bucks, right?
Yeah, I think it's great.
So, what would you use this for? You could use it in the shower. Come to think of it.
You can use it in the shower. You know what? I think it's just great to throw in your bag when you travel and you're listening to a movie at the hotel, and instead of the crappy speakers in your laptop, just...
Does this sound better than your laptop?
Oh, my laptop. I mean, I'm sure you probably have a laptop that, has...
my Mac's pretty good. Well, it doesn't have a... Well, maybe it does have a subwoofer. I don't know. Could. Who knows? But that's a heck of a deal. All right, I'm going to buy it. I'm buying it. You win. It comes tomorrow.
Well, before you do it, there's the deluxe version, but it weighs more than a pound.
Oh no, that's too heavy.
Yeah, it's too big.
Does it sound? Did you listen to that one? Does it sound much better?
No, because I just found out today when I was checking out. It said there is a deluxe version of this, but also it's $28.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So why spend more?
Yeah. When you want something this small to throw in a pocket.
Right.
Oh, and it comes with a case and a clip so that you can actually hang it on a backpack and play it, or hang it on it comes with a very nice travel case.
Very cool.
It's a good deal.
Now, as always, with any of these things, if you go to Dick's website, you can see all the information. He's got a link which will give him, I don't know, you get $1 on this? What, you don't get much. What is it, 5%? What's the Amazon
No, it's
affiliate?
less than that. It's either 2 or 3%.
It's just a little. They throw him a penny and go, here, pick it up. Let's see you pick it up. Dance, monkey. So Giz, but it is nice. It's helpful. Gizwiz.biz.
Yeah, exactly.
I bought it through your link. GIZWIZ.biz. Well, I'm just too lazy to type it in. If you click the button that says the Gizwiz visits the tech guy, you will see right there that little gadget and all the gadgets he's mentioned on this show. There's also a page for the stuff he says on World News Now. He does that, ABC's World News Now, every month. And the What the Heck Is It contest, a chance to win an autographed copy of Mad Magazine. You got till the end of February.
Yeah, this month.
End of the month. To identify a close-up of a gadget and perhaps be in the running for a autographed copy of Mad. Thank you, Dickie D.
Thank you, sir.
Have a great day.
You too. See you next Saturday.
Thank you to Professor Laura, our musical director, for making this show all musical-like. Thanks to phone angel Kim Schaffer for getting you on the air. Thanks especially to you who call and listen. You both serve. I appreciate it. Glad I could be your tech guy. Have a great Geek Week. Bye-bye. Well, that's it for the Tech Guy Show for today. Thank you so much for being here. And don't forget, TWIT, T-W-I-T. It stands for This Week in Tech, and you'll find it at twit.tv, including the podcasts for this show. We talk about Windows on Windows Weekly, Macintosh on Mac Break Weekly, iPads, iPhones, Apple Watches on iOS Today, security on Security Now. I mean, I can go on and on and on. And, of course, the big show every Sunday afternoon, This Week in Tech. You'll find it all at twit.tv. And I'll be back next week with another great Tech Guys show. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next time.